Hello, welcome to the Spider Pop Arcade. We're gonna play more Echo. I'm here with Blanc and Mr. Magpie again, and oh boy, Blanc keeps teasing that this is the chapter where just things start going down.
You sound so excited. I mean,
I am filled with unbridled anticipation as to how things could just go absolutely fucking wrong. The thing I'm curious about though, oh wait, okay, yeah. Mouse, just making sure. Yeah, no, it is Friday. Holy shit.
Friday.
Today's the last day then, right? Are we leaving tomorrow?
You have, I think, until Sunday, I believe.
Oh, okay.
The intention will be to leave on Sunday.
The intention.
All right. Let's see. Okay, let me take this second to remember who I'm voicing. Okay, I got it.
You won't remember.
It's who was it? I'm Carl, Flynn. No, I'm Carl, Chase, Jenna. I think that's it.
And I got the other three.
Yeah. Clint hadn't been lying after all.
What?
Leo whispers at me from across the table, not looking up from his phone. Nothing, just finding some interesting stuff. I whisper back.
Good.
Oh, Grandsma still doesn't look up from his phone. Are you looking at more otter and wolf porn, you fucking creep?
We'll never get over that.
I won't. That was fucking horrifying.
Yes.
That was the first moment where I was just like, oh no. Oh, this is, I get it now. There isn't much to go off of. After reading through it, I'm pretty skeptical of Haunted Echo, the main source of my documentary. At least the bit of information I came across references some newspaper articles from 1952. A young wolf named Robert Smith wasn't even a resident of Echo. He had been resting, let's see, at the Echo classification yard after taking a train from the capital. He was on his way to the west coast, and once he thought he'd found the right train, he attempted to board it. No one knows exactly what happened. Somehow his train hopping went horribly wrong, and he was found later with both limbs severed 2 hours later. He managed to crawl 20 yards north along the rail before he was found. Somehow, impossibly, he survived the ordeal up to that point. It was mainly due to the mud packs that had been placed on the stumps, halting the bleeding. Of note, it was the fact that Robert had seemingly become delirious because of blood loss, pain, or trauma. Luckily, a combination of all three, actually. He had claimed that the bleeding had been stopped by a creature of some kind. When he tried to describe it, he began to sob and scream incoherently. It's hard to say how much of this is being exaggerated by the author. Either way, I don't exactly have time to track down all her sources, so I decide I'll just have to trust it. My leg jumps as something soft, ticklish brushes up against it. It's your fucking tail, isn't it? The step gives my legs a tail. What? Gives me an innocent look while he continues to push his tail against my leg. Well, if you're not going to say anything, then please stop doing that. It's distracting. Just stop, and I feel a little guilty, so I look back up. And thanks for getting me a library card just so I could check this out. It's a huge help. He smiles.
No problem, Nutria.
Nutria, huh? What is that? What does this mean?
I'm not certain.
I'm gonna assume it's another term of endearment. I'm gonna click off the display, or click off the display capture really quick and look
Google
this up.
is your friend. I assume that's what's happening right now.
Nutria in English.
It means nutrients.
That's what I
obviously
thought. He called him a rodent.
That doesn't seem right.
Wait, no.
It's otter. It's otter.
Okay. Because, yeah, I'm looking at a swimming rodent here. Oh, nutria is the scientific term for a lot of those, like, rodent-looking sea mammals. Like otters, some, like, capybaras.
Capybaras are rodents.
They are. They're giant rats. Okay, so I think it's funny that he's calling them that of all things. Not one of your sexier words. Get back to the book. He's trying to sound smart because we're in a library. Unlikely that Robert would have survived anyway due to the extent of his injuries and infection. Still, it is of note that he ended up committing suicide a few hours after discovery. Apparently slipped out the fifth floor window of the Peyton Regional Medical Center. Though the authorities simply dismissed it as a case of a man knowing that his demise was nigh and finishing the job himself. Where's my phone? I'm gonna get the voice mod, what was it? It's like is it the companion app? It's a controller app. I don't wanna have to click off the thing to get it ready. So I'm gonna scan this. There we go. Okay, it looks like it saved some stuff. Perfect. Although I don't think that particular soundboard works anymore because I don't have the sounds for it, but whatever. All right. The author speculates it had something to do with the horrors he saw on the tracks. I hear the soft whine coming from in front of me, and I lower the book and find Leo draped across the table on his chest. Oh my god.
Attention, give him attention.
Where's that meme? It's one of my favorite memes. It's Plankton holding up a sign and it says, "I'm horny, give me attention."
God.
Gonna look while do some choice. Thanks, Isai. And thanks, Manic. And Clint wasn't exaggerating. He sure wasn't. Clint was not exaggerating. All right. I can't help but smile because it's so fucking adorable, even for a wolf as big as him. He's speaking your language right now, Blanc.
Yes, stop calling me out.
What? What? I have a project to do, remember?
Yeah, I know, but we've been here for 3 hours now. You should take a break.
At the time, and I'm shocked that he's actually right. How the hell did that happen? God, that fucking song's playing again. Well, I guess that's a good idea. I was just finding some really interesting stuff.
I'm sure that project of yours is gonna turn out awesome.
At least get a B. Begins and stands up abruptly, grabbing my book up, as well, so I couldn't continue to read.
Let's go get some lunch. It's almost 3.
Oh God, can we not go to the diner? All right, did he want to go to the diner? Damn it!
You want to eat there?
No! Ah! Well, it's been a few days. I'd like to catch up with the others, you know. I know that's what you wanted to do. Actually, everyone's busy. I already tried. Oh, sorry. I'm just,
Okay.
I'm reading, I'm fast reading this now because I'm getting upset. Okay. Well, what are they doing?
Well, Flynn's working, TJ and Jen are on a hike, and Carl's asleep.
Oh. Typical.
Yeah.
So now you're left with me, Chase. You have no other options.
I don't know what my cat wants, but she's like being very affectionate right now. And Chase is just really dragging you across the rocks. This cast is dragging me across the rocks. It doesn't really seem like Leo to just blow off meeting up with everyone, but you don't say. But I guess at this point in the trip, he's just tired of trying. I know I would be. This is the diner? Please tell me we're at a different diner. Oh, probably just to show me up after what I said last night. Leo takes me to a semi-fancy steakhouse. Where he orders the same exact thing that he had for his TV dinner. He, of course, insists on paying for everything. I'm not really sure when Leo became so concerned about how I perceive his income. I don't mind, though. The meal is good, and I'm happy not to pay the $30 price. At $30 for a steak meal isn't that bad.
Yeah. It's actually fairly priced.
Yeah, it does remind me of his
What,
job,
is
though.
that for both of them, or
No,
just
it was probably for one plate. He said
Yeah.
semi-fancy. So that's probably like a prime cut of steak. I'm pretty sure I've had lightly aged steak at one particular steakhouse, and yeah, it was like $50, $60 a plate.
Oh,
Okay, fair enough.
He says his parents gave him an entire week off, which surprises me. I remember how Leo worked almost every day in that shop. I guess his dad is just mellowing out with age. Again, I have no reason to complain, though. We have every fucking reason to complain. On the way back, Leo nudges me as I'm nodding off and gestures out the window.
Peyton and I.
Isn't that where they went to school? Yep.
Uh-oh, memories.
Sure enough, our old school is visible out the window.
Want to swing around?
Oh
Who
boy.
well, actually.
I mean, I did not have the worst. Actually, my high school years were great,
yeah, I
but
don't know why I said that, to be
yeah.
perfectly honest.
it was middle school that was hell for me, and I'm glad that
it's more of a like, why would the
yeah, they're still in their 20s.
I'm just assuming that like everything in these people's lives were awful.
No, because they didn't go to school in Echo. They went to school in Peyton.
True.
Just look at it.
Yeah.
Tired, but we're not doing anything else. All right, why not? Past 5, and at this point, as we pull up into the parking lot, there are only a few cars scattered around. Walk around the side. Oh, this is where the friggin' that one scene happens. I think I see bleachers. We walk around the side of the school, then onto the football field. If Peyton High School puts its money anywhere, it was definitely sports. This makes me think of those colleges that put all their money in the fucking stadiums and locker rooms, and then like every other class, you know, the ceilings are falling apart. There's like water damage everywhere. I fucking hate college sports. That was one of the reasons why I was so mediocre by comparison. Every sport in the school was extremely competitive, each one winning state regularly. They win state again since I've been gone.
I came close last year, though. Almost as close as we did back in 09.
Yeah. You still sore about that? Leo sits on top of the bench of the concrete bleachers. I sit down next to him.
Sometimes, mostly because we were so damn close, and it really just feels like it was yesterday.
It does kind of feel that way. I can remember it. I can remember it pretty clearly. It was one of the few times I'd seen Leo cry. Wow. He wanted that championship so bad. I lean back and look around, breathing in deeply. Wow, it's really nostalgic being here.
Isn't it?
Leo looks off towards the sunset, and I could see him getting glassy-eyed.
Is it weird that if I could, I'd go through high school again?
No, honestly, I mean, it's weird that anyone would want to do that, but not weird in your case. Oh god, this is all. I'm not a fan of this song either. Although every time I've heard it, it isn't as forced as the other one.
It's very emotional, and it kind of
This one is, yeah. I think for a moment. Not really. I'd like to do it. I've made a lot of mistakes.
Not really because of that. More like it was a lot of fun. I just want to experience it all again.
Jesus, that is sad. I don't know. I had friends that like missed their high school days or whatever, but that's because they liked who they were at that time, and I was barely becoming the person I am now during those times.
Yeah.
I liked it because it was easy. I was good at it. Give me more exams, damn it.
I grin at him. Hey, you're talking like you peaked in high school, and that's the thing that bugs me about a lot of people who miss those times. They do act like they peaked during that time, and it's just like, but like, it feels like, you know, through the eyes of a child or young adult, of course you're gonna feel like that. The bar's kind of set low right now.
Yeah. Did I?
The question catches me completely off guard, and my stumbling around for words that follows doesn't help. No? He sighs. You know, you've got a good paying job, your own house, a pretty damn good life. You're doing better than most. He laughs a little. He's alone, though. He ain't got no one to share it with.
And he lives in Echo, which, you know.
No, yeah, no, it's like he's trying to find someone to share a shit pie with.
Oh, good. I guess I just don't feel like it, you know?
Why not? He leans back.
Well, I don't really feel as good as I did back then. When I think of high school, or even further back, Man, those were the good days.
Think about how completely inverse I am to that. My life improved exponentially after I left the town. Well, if you keep looking back, I don't think you'll ever be happy. Here we go.
Uh,
Oh,
pain.
God.
I feel so much immense pain.
Yeah, no, well, I'm not feeling pain, but, like, I understand it's a moment of vulnerability between the two, but at the same time, it's just, oh, God, they're always gonna get, hurt. Yeah, the grass is always greener, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy. Okay. I like the shadow cast on his eyes right here. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
He looks sad, so I wrap an arm around his shoulder, which is a little difficult considering how broad they are. Because 5 years from now, you'll probably look back on this era of your life and think, man, I wish I could go back.
You're probably right.
Let's just enjoy it now. Oh, boy. Well, okay, I understand where they're coming from now, but it's just like, God, why are we going to do all this if it's just going to hurt later? Leo sighs again, then looks straight down at me, meeting eyes.
Chase?
Oh, boy, here we go.
No.
Awkward moment followed by a conversation we should have had a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah? Pauses looking out to the side, turning his eyes back on mine.
I love you.
Oh, no. Oh, it hurts. I immediately look away.
Chase, please. Please just come back. I
Jesus.
missed you so much. Every day.
Chase, now's a good time to bring up everything we've gone through up to this point. You should stay. Yeah, you could totally be able to protect me from every racist, homophobic meth addict in this town. I stare out across the field, not able to meet his eyes again. God, you're both awful.
I'll stop smoking. I'll stop picking on Clint. I'll get rid of the gun.
Oh, no.
Just please come back.
Move out.
Yes, that's my one requirement.
It's
Leave
like I
this
only have
goddamn
one
town.
condition. We just can't live here.
Yeah.
I don't know, Leo. You know how I don't like it here, and I feel like if I keep my options open to find a good job, a good place to live.
Just for a year or two. While you're getting on your feet, I'll give you a place to stay.
Oh, God. Flynn was right. That sounds great, Leo, but to get back together, that's like setting ourselves up for another breakup, and I don't want to do that.
Then we'd know for sure, without parents or school in the way. It'll just be us, and then even if it doesn't work out, there's some closure there.
God, and it's such a
Would you
finite
accept
resource
this?
here.
Would you accept this, Leo? Even then.
No, see, yeah, no, it's this sounds like sweet talk right here. This is just fine details to fluff up the deal to make it sound like it's better. The first time I feel myself seeing things from Leo's point of view. No, that's not what we want to do. I'm not necessarily losing anything by at least trying. And he's right. There really wasn't any closure, mostly because of me. See, now he feels guilty. God, don't do this because of you feel guilty. Do it because you don't don't do it because you don't want to. Oh, God, this is awful.
I know, it hurts.
Leo must sense my indecision because he immediately presses forward.
And I'll be making enough to support you while you figure things out.
You don't need him, Chase.
They don't need each other. I don't think he would. I don't think he would get closure from this either. Leo, like, absolutely not. Hey, I don't want to mooch.
I don't mind. I just want you to be comfortable so you can do what you want to do.
Oh, this is making me want to cry, but not in the good way. Leo really is Hispanic. Damn guilt. Yes! He really fucking is.
He really is.
I'm glad you've been paying attention to this story. Oh, God. But Echo... Leo's quiet for a while, a long while before he finally speaks up.
Now that I can't fix, but I guess one way to decide is to weigh what's more important to you.
You're asking me to choose?
I'm not asking that exactly.
Oh god, I have the most terrible feeling in my gut right now. Leo glances at me.
But if I did,
Thought alongside. So you are? He doesn't say anything, so my mind starts wondering over the years we'd spent together. Despite how much we fight, there's no question in my mind that the answer is, and it hits me like a thunderbolt. Ah. I need to scream inside a pillow.
okay.
Fuck it, this'll do. Okay, I think I'm good. They say love makes us do stupid things, but I don't think this is love. I just think it's stupid. All at once, his face explodes into a grin. God. We had to ruin this seemingly nice moment that wasn't nice from the start. Oh, God. So much happiness in one expression that I don't think I'd ever be able to take back what I just said, even if I wanted to. And I'm instantly wrapped up in a tight, warm hug, one that crushes the air out of my lungs.
Oh my god, Chase, I love you so fucking much.
This is the saddest thing I've ever seen. Oh, God. Hey.
But you still got a year of school left, so we're gonna have to get back into contact. We're gonna have to exchange.
Oh, boy. I clasp his muzzle shut with my hand around it, and he just stares back at me with wide eyes. I didn't even say yes. Take my hand away from his muzzle.
Oh, well, what'd you say?
Look again towards the sunset, past the concrete bleachers, goalposts in the direction of Echo, and take a deep breath. I look back at Leo. And then he's kissing me. It's not rough like it was on the train yard. Yeah, this is one motivated from tenderness and intimacy, not the need of getting one's dick wet. His mouth stays closed, but he holds.
I think that is what Leo wants.
I think Chase wanted it to some extent too. His mouth stays closed, but he holds my head gently, and it's like he's trying to pour all his love into me through his lips. As ridiculous as it might sound, I can feel it.
Blow on a happy ending. Yeah. Roll credit.
Oh no, we're in the apartment. God, we're in the worst place in Echo. Leo. Okay. How saucy are things gonna get here?
I cannot remember, but I think a little bit saucy. But it doesn't show anything.
Okay. I'm just wondering how explicit the text is gonna get.
I don't know. I don't think it actually gets into details like that.
All right. So let's see. They're just making out right now. Yeah, that's fine. Still just mild touching foreplay. Oh God.
No, I saw.
Am I gonna have to put the BRB screen up?
BRB.
Nothing going on here. It's just TJ reading scriptures right now. It's all good.
Reading the Holy Book.
Oh my God. My cousin just called this the rent of dating sims. That's fucking genius. Because I fucking hate Rent. Rent is an awful musical. Now, I won't shit on anyone who likes Rent. If you're a queer person and you saw this musical and it made you feel seen, that's great. But the bar was set really fucking low. And it wasn't even made by queer people. It was made by a straight guy who was an ally. And you know what? I'm glad that, he wanted to contribute something to us. But, like, Rent has not aged well. It has not aged well at all. All those characters are fucking selfish. I can't fucking stand any of them. And the only decent character in that musical that's just worth anything fucking dies. I think it was because of AIDS. Because it was a musical about queer people during the 90s. Ugh. I fucking hate Rent. But this knows what it. But Echo's not. Echo knows what it wants to be. So while it is the rent of dating sims, it is
It's
intentional.
intentionally-
Yeah.
God.
All right. Let's see. What are we looking at here? Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Oh boy. Uh-huh. I appreciate the heartbeat, but also, okay. Yes, those are things. Those are things.
Those are words.
Those are words. Okay. Oh boy. Wow.
Mm.
Wait. Is okay. That's still
God
PG.
said what?
That's still PG. I should try to make like a saucy scene card at some point.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh God. Okay.
Fascinating.
And we're good, I think.
And scene.
And scene.
Okay. And
Okay,
scene.
cool.
There we go. Okay. So we had activities. I think this was just foreplay though.
Christian.
It's foreplay.
It was just foreplay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now
It's a
Leo's
bit-
in the shower. And I smile as I hear him singing. I wonder if he has a good singing voice. If he doesn't, he's a very dangerous character.
Didn't they
'Cause,
say
like-
he had like a deep baritone voice in the beginning?
Regardless, I
true.
simp for like God, I've had so many crushes on like singers
My
or people who can
goodness.
sing well.
Mm.
Even if you're just decent, I'm just like, yes, I'm willing to overlook some things. Okay, I actually love the
Lord.
fact that it
Oh
was
my
all
God.
just be right back during that. The imagination is a dangerous minefield. I mean, it was just foreplay. That was it.
It was strictly foreplay. It was nothing too explicit.
Not really. Okay, smile as oh right, I have to click on the thing in order to get the image back. There we go. I usually shower with him back in the day, but I was so tired I passed out as soon as we both finished. Once I opened my eyes again, Leo was already in the shower. Okay, I have a feeling that like we're gonna fall asleep and we're gonna get hit with like another nightmare.
Nightmare.
Let's find out. Oh, okay. It looks like we got saved by his phone. Now,
Oh,
Chase, are you
He's
gonna
done it once
snoop again?
before.
Yeah,
We gotta
no.
snoop
He's
again.
not below it.
We have
He'll
to.
make it happen.
He'd been on it all day, probably trying to coordinate a meeting with others. It's already Friday, which is hard to believe. We had to get together again before we lost the chance. I took a look over the screen. It's already lit up. I sit up and look. A message from Flynn.
Yeah, well, fuck you too.
Oh boy, not exactly a surprising message to get from Flynn, but still, I wonder what they're fighting about. Oh no.
Oh no.
What the fuck's wrong with you, Chase? Why are you like this? Matt, I said I wanted to be waterboarded by the horror.
Check his phone.
You
You
know
can
what?
hear
you-
those glowing red eyes.
Did you need to ask him? You knew what
Yes.
you were gonna have to do, Gordon.
I needed to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, yeah.
Do
All right,
it.
hold on. I need some mental
It's totally in
preparation here.
character.
I know it is. That's the thing.
That's your cousin's
It has,
comment.
yeah,
That's
no,
your
it totally
cousin's
is. All right, I'm clicking now. Some amount of guilt to reach over, grab his phone, open up his text. Anyway, I see a few pin conversations. They're from me. Judging by the dates, they're from when I was still away at college.
Oh
There's also a few saved attachments. I quickly swipe away to more recent conversations. The latest from earlier this morning, it looks like it was to Flynn.
Chase has a project to do.
Oh no. This music's playing again.
no. Oh, has he been?
Bullshit, but you're fucking him again, aren't you? I'm helping him. You planned this from the start, didn't you? What? This whole thing, it was to get back in his pants.
I do think Leo legitimately loves Flynn, but I don't think it's a healthy kind of love. I don't think that what he feels for Chase is lust, or at least not primarily. I do believe there's some intimacy and genuine romantic feelings there. But yeah, no, it's not infatuation. It probably is mostly infatuation. But yeah, he's not going about it in a healthy way. Okay. How about I plan this?
I plan this after you ruin the entire week, huh? Yeah, well, fuck you too.
I frown. It's too bad Leo and Flynn are still fighting, but for some reason their exchange has me feeling uneasy. I pull up the next recent thread, one with Carl. Carl asked Leo when we're hanging out again yesterday night. Leo pokes some fun about him sleeping in the crawl space. Leo tells him that he isn't sure, that I'll probably be too busy. Oh,
Yeah, you just realizing
yeah.
now. He's been lying to them all.
He's been lying to them all.
Time one-on-one.
Oh, yeah, I think he does. Well, see, that's the thing. Maybe he does like the idea of Chase, but I don't know what kind of person Chase is. So I can't say he likes the idea or not, because I don't know what kind of person Chase is. We haven't gotten much insight into his character throughout this particular route. Leo never asked me, and I feel my heart start to pound. Today, Carl texted again asking how things were going. Leo tells him that I wanted to go to the high school for nostalgia's sake, that I wanted to be alone for it. Oh no. He sent that 2 hours before we even got there, before he acted as if it was on a whim. And Jenna asks if Leo's avoiding her, if she said something wrong. Leo tells her everything's fine, but again, I'm too busy to hang out. And then his text to TJ.
Hey, yesterday was so much fun. I know you said you're probably going to be busy, but I wanted to check.
Smiley face.
Funny face.
He would do that.
Chase is still pretty sad about what happened Monday, I think. He needs more time.
Oh, boy.
Oh, okay. Please tell him I'm sorry. He told me he was fine yesterday, but I guess he must have been faking it for my sake. Yeah, he's still pretty broken up. We'll figure it out, though.
Oh my god. You're in the fun hard. Could Leo really have done all this? The TJ especially?
Geez, I wonder.
I sit there quietly. Is he gonna fucking shoot me? Is we going the yandere route? I sit there quietly listening to my wolf continue to sing. My stomach twists up as I realize that now I have to confront him on this. I've let things slide before, but this one is on a different level. No, it wasn't. The fucking computer was the highest level this could have fucking gone. Also, yeah, my cousin's right. Why are they not texting Chase?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. Maybe just for the sake of this particular route, it's just like, let's just imagine that like they're giving him space or whatever. Yeah, you'd think they'd be texting him like, hey, how's the project going? Hug my knees. See, if that would have happened, then Chase wouldn't have to confront this on his own. I hug my knees and stare at the wall, feeling strangely violated now. As I stare, I see a dark spot with spindly legs move across the wall. Uh-oh. Oh, it's a spider. The spider pauses as if acknowledging me before disappearing into a dark corner.
It's the Gordon self-insert.
Ah! I sit on hard, uneven ground, shivering as I try to cover myself up with the blanket. Uh-oh. Eyes adjust for me to realize that I'm outside somewhere, looking through the branches of dead trees to the many stars above me. Aside from the calls of a few birds, it's completely silent. I stare at the sky above me for a while, wishing that it wasn't so cold so I could go back to sleep. Where am I? The slight confusion I feel mixed in with the apathy of just waking up is a familiar feeling. I have a feeling that he's living that dude who got his legs run over by the train. You remember my parents forced me into Boy Scouts 10 years ago. I hated it so much, especially the camping. I could never fall asleep, and when I finally did, it would be marred by me tossing and turning, waking up in confusion as to where I was. I'd sit up straight in the tent, looking around me for 10 minutes, wondering why I was in complete darkness and sitting in a sleeping bag. I was like, now there's no tent or sleeping bag. My mind works slowly, like it's drenched in molasses, and I knead the ground with my fingers, digging them into dead vegetation and soil. And then finally, I break through the barrier to lucidity, and I realize that what's happening to me is real. I'm outside, and I look left and right to see that I'm surrounded by trees or bushes. The smell of sage, brush, and dirt fills my nostrils as I unsteadily get on my feet. My limbs and flesh are numb from the cold, and I rub my hands up and down my arms trying to find some warmth. Did I sleepwalk? I must have, unless Leo took me out for here for some reason, or someone else did. I shiver. There's not much else I can do except walk forward. Ahead of me looks like branches clear out into the more darkness. I hope that I'm just behind Leo's house where I know there are some bushes and trees. Either way, I can't be that far from the house. So I start walking, reaching out blindly to move past sharp benches and prickly bushes. The pain wasn't that bad, not nearly as bad as you'd think it'd be. I look back behind me, staring hard into the blackness. I can't see anything beyond branches right in front of me, which give the impression of gnarled teeth in front of a dark, endless mouth. Quickly, I turn back around and push through the dead vegetation in front of me, trying not to panic. But I knew I was dead the moment I looked down. A branch scrapes across my cheek, and the other stabs me hard in the hip as I run right into it. Two stumps gushing blood. Oh, called it! Two stumps gushing blood, splashing the wheels of the train rails. I finally break into the open. Now I can see more stars above me, but the complete lack of moon makes almost everything around me impossible to see. I can at least tell that it's a large clearing, but no matter how hard I squint, I can't see ahead of me. Um, Tentatively, I start walking forward, looking left and right for any sign of lights that might help guide me back to town. I can feel a warring seed of panic starting up in my chest, and I worry it's going to explode out of me any second. The last thing I need is me running through the night screaming my head off. Pretty soon I become aware of what looks like a large block in front of me. Again, I reach out my hands, walking slower as I approach whatever it is in front of me. They press up against something rough, hard, and cold. Whatever it is, made up of some type of metal. It feels broken and rusted, so I assume it's old. Was it a warehouse of some kind? I sidestep right until my hands run up against some bars that stick out from the structure, and that's when it hits me. It's a freight car from the old train. Sure enough, the next thing in my hands me is empty space as I come across what I remember to be the open door I had sat in earlier. I was out in the train yard. I almost laughed. Did my anxiety about finishing the project cause me to sleepwalk all the way back out here? At least I know exactly where I am. I rest my hands on the edge of the car, breathing the musty air inside, into something sweet and sick on top of it, and it crosses my mind that anything could have crawled inside and died. I quickly move away from the car, turning my body in the direction I know Leo's house is in, and start walking, pouring through my recent memories to see if I could somehow remember how the hell I got here. Leo coming back into the bedroom, putting his arm around me, then nothing. I definitely fell asleep. Sleepwalking is the only answer. The sound of rustling behind me makes me jump, but I keep moving forward, not wanting to see tiny creature in the grass getting me spooked. Squinting ahead of me, I see no lights. Oh, sorry, I thought I heard something, but I think it was gardeners from the other house.
Are you getting a bit spooked?
I am. I still think this is a dream sequence, though.
Mm-mm.
Because, like, we fell asleep. The last two nightmares happened abruptly. Squinting
Mm.
ahead of me, I see no lights yet, which is strange because I know Echo should have at least a few lights on. The street lights, at least. Oh. A loud metal clang fills the air, and this time I do whirl around. Hello? My voice is still scratchy from waking up, and I cough to clear it. Hello? The loudness of my voice actually startles me, but the response is silence. Did a bird hit it? Maybe I knocked something loose when I was feeling around? I'm definitely not going back to check it out, though. So, with a quickened pace, I start moving again. That's when I hear more shifting around in the car, like something is rolling up and around inside. I stop walking again and hold still, perking my eyes as I try to hold my breath, heart pounding. This time I don't call out, instead just listen. I swallow, and it's so loud I almost jump at that sound. But again, the sound stops completely. I wait a while longer before I start moving again, this time at a slight jog. A crazy thought enters my mind where I think maybe Leo and I got really drunk and maybe we both came out here and blacked out. and that Leo's in the train car right now, hungover and rolling around. In the middle of that thought, that the sound starts up again. It's louder. This time it ends with cutting off for a split second before something heavy thuds to the dead vegetation below. I stop again, but this time it's so that whatever it is doesn't hear me, knowing that if I keep walking, the heavy crunches my footsteps will allow it to pinpoint me immediately. So it is completely dry, and a new thought enters my mind. It could be Clint. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he comes out here to sleep in the train cars. That would totally be something that he'd do. Well, he that does ease my worries a little bit. I'm not fully relaxed because I know the dumb fuck has a gun. I also know he wouldn't hesitate to shoot at something if it startled him. So I crouched down a bit, waiting, listening, and now I'm pretty sure I can hear ragged, wheezy breathing that definitely sounds like Clint. I gather up some spit in my mouth so my tongue doesn't stick to the roof of it, and I take a small breath. Hey, Clint? I say it gently, quietly, but I'm sure he can hear me. I get some more silence in return, but I also get the distinct feeling that he's listening back. I try again. It's me. There's an explosion of energy and sound in front of me, but it's not a gunshot. Instead, a sense of forward momentum. It's like the dream he had when we fell asleep at Leo's apartment. Or not his apartment, his house. Instead, it's a sense of forward momentum that I can physically feel, that whatever is in front of me is lunging forward to me. Two loud thuds, one following the other in less than half a second, followed by an explosive dragging sound. The cycle repeats the second it ends. Whatever it is sounds desperate, almost manic, but I don't stick around to find out. Before I know it, my legs are carrying me through the clearing as fast as I can. All thoughts of what it could be are gone from my mind as I dodge into the trees and bushes to my right, knowing that I can break through to the other side or I'll be right in front of Leo's house. What's behind me though? It's moving impossibly fast. Already it sounds like the distance between us has been cut in half, and as I'm struggling between branches and sagebrush, I hear it break into the brush with me. I gasp as full-on panic sets in. I scream as loud as I can, knowing that he could be able to hear me, also knowing that he sleeps like a rock. The thing behind me seems to double its efforts at the sound of my voice, and the cycle of its movement increased. It now has the momentum of a gallop. My breaths are coming in panicked gasp, and now I know I'm not going to make it because it's only 3 feet behind me. As if the window opens up in the back of my mind, I see it. 2 clawed hands outstretched towards me. A face that flashes past, too fast for me to make out, but I manage to see a lipless mouth. And as it slams into, then it slams into my back and crushes me into the ground against sharp branches and rocks. I gasp as the air is crushed out of me, but I suck it back in. Those huge hands wrap around my neck. I'm struggling to pull, but it's like an ant under a foot. I'm so thoroughly pinned that I can't even budge an inch. There's hissing behind my head, and I feel it dripping against the back of my neck. Tears squeeze out of my eyes as I try to reach forward, but it's like I'm paralyzed. Paralyzed. I yank back, suddenly my face coming out of something soft and white. A pillow. Fucking knew it.
What was that bit in there about the legs? I sort of missed that.
He's,
Like,
it sounded like for a moment he was that dude who got into that accident. Like maybe he momentarily saw what that looked like.
It just confused me because it happened and then it like
Yeah, no, that
wasn't
confused.
talking about it all of us.
Yeah, that did confuse me too.
Chase, you okay?
His husky voice whispers into my ear as I take in a huge gasp of air.
Whoa, can't breathe.
I cough and gasp, my face wet with tears as I sit with the bed looking around.
Oh, baby, it's okay.
It draws me into the warm hug and I take it limply, my mind only now catching up. Cough a few more times. Sorry. Paralysis, couldn't move. Rocks me a few times, making shushing noises.
I remember you telling me about that. Good thing I was here to pull you out of your pillow.
I'm not against his chest, realizing how dangerous it could have been if he hadn't been there. I usually came out of paralysis in under a minute. This happens to me too. Sleep paralysis. It's not a good feeling. Here's a weird thing with me though. The first time it happened to me, I had this feeling that as long as I could get my big toes to touch each other, that it would be enough sensation to wake me up. And it's hard to move when you have sleep paralysis, but like, yeah, no, every time it's happened to me is I try to get them to touch, and every time it's managed to wake me up. I usually come out of, okay. I shudder and pull back out of the hug, wiping my face.
What did you dream about?
I try to think back, but the dream is fleeing my mind as fast as whatever it was that was chasing me. What was chasing me? I can't remember. Leo rubs my shoulder and looks at my face. It's dark, but I can see the white of his eye patches giving him an almost ghostly appearance. That's actually my favorite feature of his design.
Mm-hmm. You want to stay up? I can make you tea or something.
Adrenaline's already leaving me to be replaced by fatigue, but the offer sounds nice. Sure.
Alright, wanna come with me?
Pause and shake my head, wanting to collect myself alone for a moment. No, just give me a second.
Alright.
Vince Warden kisses me on the forehead before leaving me alone in the dark room. Lay back down on my side, trying again to remember what I had dreamed about. I was in the woods, something was after me, that's all I can recall. The warmth Leo left in the bed has me drowsy again. I'm about to drift when something pokes me in the foot. Try to ignore it, but the thought of an insect of some kind has me reaching down to feel it. It's hard and crackly, whatever it is. And then I pull it up, I find a dead leaf. Frowning, I pull back the sheets, and there, cleaning fabric of my firm feet, is dirt and leaves.
So that leaves the implication of it wasn't just a dream.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's only been 15 minutes, so I definitely can't end it right now.
Yes, another chapter, please.
All right. Leo wakes up early the next day telling me he had to settle some stuff with his dad at the shop. I don't get much of a chance to ask why or how long, or he's out the door yelling something about food being in the fridge. Yeah, we're not going to be eating that. I immediately fall back asleep, though, and when I open my eyes, it's 2 hours later. Leo texted me half an hour ago. The Pop's shop.
The
Be
last
back
shop,
soon.
I think.
Roll back down. The lump of dread in my throat as I remember the
There we
text
go.
messages. Yep. I didn't want to.
I was like, you better not have forgotten.
I
Yeah.
didn't want to confront him, not one bit, but I can't just let it sit. Ask your friends to help, especially Flynn. Get Flynn and Jenna in the room. Oh God, low emotional status. Probably. Something has to be said before I leave. I lay around another 20 minutes before grabbing my phone to browse a bit. That's when I realized I hadn't charged it last night, and my battery's at just 25%. I groan and throw my arm over my eyes. One day left to do the project. I'm so far behind, though. I'm not even feeling any anxiety about it at this point. Just resigned. I should have known better, really, that I wasn't gonna get anything done with Leo around. I stare at the wall a while longer before I force myself to sit up. No use lying around. I might not be making the best project, but it didn't mean I couldn't do a few things to make it less terrible. Food momentarily crosses my mind, but I shrug it off. I'd never been a breakfast person anyway.
The most important meal of the day.
As soon as I leave the house, I notice things are a bit off. Firstly, it's dead quiet. Usually there's some kind of drone, whether it's the wind or plane overhead. There's usually something. No sound of birds either. And those were always chirping in the morning. I stand in the doorway for a bit, feeling a vague sense of tension, electricity in the air. Something building. Shake my head, feeling dizzy. That dream last night had fucked me up in all kinds of ways, so it's not surprising that it's probably still messing with me. I'll be glad to be gone from this place tomorrow. Some rustling next door draws my attention, and I see Kudzu carrying a set of clippers walk across his front yard. I open my mouth to say hi, but hold back, feeling self-conscious. His brooding nature was a bit intimidating, and I don't know if he's the kind of person who expects a greeting or not. I'm not left to wonder long, though, because he spots me almost immediately and raises a hand. Morning. Oh, hey there. He grunts before settling his attention on the bush in front of him, sizing it up. I stand there awkwardly for a bit, wondering if that's the end of our situation, but he speaks again. Leo, take off?
Take off?
That's his head at the empty driveway. Oh, yeah, earlier this morning. I walk down the porch and walk over to the edge of Leo's lawn so it doesn't feel like we're yelling at each other. What lawn?
There's a lot. Like there's a little patch of grass there. And
Yeah. Huh. Said something about having to take care of business with his dad.
I see.
He stops trimming and looks up at me before smiling.
You can come on my lawn. It's not like I have an electric fence or anything.
Looking down, I see that I'm towing the edge of his immaculate lawn on the side of Leo's, looking like a little kid. I blush before stepping over to crunch along the tan-colored gravel he had set out. Weird how nice it all is, especially compared to the shitty trailer sitting in the middle of it all. If he had an Adobe-style house, this place would be Southwestern perfection. This all looks really nice. I guess gardening is your hobby?
Thanks.
This nips at the bush rather aggressively.
I like it. It's what I do most of the day.
Kun moves to the side of the bush, examining it.
It's peaceful.
He gives the bush another snip before resting a hand on his hip while he lets the clippers dangle in the other.
It keeps you in shape.
Can't argue with that. Although he's skinny, the muscles showed through the front of his arms. So, there was a time when, like, God, years ago, like around my mid-20s, that friend I've told you about Elizabeth, she needed help because, with her backyard, managing it, because her dad had enriched the soil to the point where it was like volcanic ash. And, you know, things grew wildly back there. I think it took us 1.5 years or almost 2 years to get rid of the blackberry bush that had just infested her yard, and it was huge. It almost looked like a swamp or something. Liz lives not too far from another friend of mine who's also an artist, and we actually invited him over so he could take some reference pictures at what wild growth looks like. Now I bring this up because when we did call it back, like we used a lot of machinery. We had to use weed whackers. We started using lawnmowers once we got a bunch of it back and the grass started taking over the places that the blackberry bush had previously taken over. And I ended up developing arms, and I ended up like my butt, like I had arm muscles. It was like, holy shit, where did these come from? And then during that time, Herbert once invited me to a workout at a gym. And he's just like, I figured we'd stay here for 3 hours. It's just like, damn, 3 hours is a lot, but like, yeah, I'm cool, I'm down. But you know, I could take breaks and whatnot. So I ended up I had an MP3 player at the time. I ended up just listening to that, and I started jogging. Not even walking. Like if the song on the playlist had picked up, I was jogging the entirety of that. And before I knew it, I had listened to the entire album and 1.5 hours had gone by. And I was like, holy shit, I feel great. I feel like I could do another half hour more. And then Herbert comes in and is just like, I think I'm done. And I was just like, really? Oh man, I feel great. Like, you sure you don't even know he was done? But I was just like, shit, I miss being able to do that. Let's see. He's probably the most in-shape guy I've ever seen in Echo. So it's amazing what not being on meth will do to you.
God.
I realize I'm staring and quickly snap my eyes back to his, but he's already smirking. I worry he's about to point. Who the hell's calling me? I don't know this number too bad. Our worry is about to point out that he's caught me, but instead he gestures at my camera bag with his clippers.
You gonna do something for your project?
Yeah, I need to get a bit more film before I leave tomorrow. And the raccoon wipes his forehead with a forearm.
Anything in particular?
I think. Not really, just old stuff to show the town's age. Kudzo sinks his clippers into the ground, looking up as he seems to think.
I know of a few things. You can go to the old school.
Yeah, I was headed there actually.
And then there's the ruins next to the lake.
Yeah, I was gonna wait for Leo to drive me there later today.
Other than that, there's an old rusted pump up the road, but I don't know if that's actually from Echo's earlier days.
Couldn't hurt to look. Where is it exactly? Kuzco points over my shoulder up to the road.
Down past Duke's house, right before the convenience store.
Okay. I remember Duke. I mean, he's not Clint, but it's just like, oh, the last time we talked to Duke, it's just all like, hey, I think you're tied to all the crazy shit that's been happening in this town. And it's just like, fuck, I want to have that conversation right now when I have to have that another conversation with Leo.
You only have 2 days.
This is fucking awful. God, the problems just keep piling up, and Chase had to go and fucking procrastinate the fuck out of this. I'm so disappointed in everyone right now.
It's kind of hidden back in some brush, but I can take you there.
Oh, it's no trouble.
It's fine. I've got plenty of time to do this today.
Dude looks like he's wearing a compression tank. So like,
Probably.
fuck, you know he works out. I do have a thing for like, what was it? I mean, I like muscle in women, but when it comes to dudes, if they're gonna be muscly, I kind of like them on the shorter side.
Short kings.
Short kings, yeah, pretty much. I shift the bag over my shoulder and stand on the side as Kutsu tosses the clippers beside the bush, then starts walking towards the road. Oh, quietly, again feeling awkward under his no-nonsense attitude.
So you and Leo getting along?
Oh boy. At this point, hey, not to trauma dump, but I think he needs to talk to someone at this. We need someone on our side because I don't know what Leo's capable of. Yeah, no, he scares me right now with like all this manipulation to get things the way he wanted them to go, and it's all working for him, well, except for now. Now it was the linchpin has been pulled, and this could all fall apart at any moment.
Leo is no longer around to keep up appearances.
Yeah. Yeah, we're having fun. My mind wanders back to the text messages, and my stomach clenches.
Good. He's been looking forward to this week for a while now. Wouldn't shut up about it last week.
I'm somewhat surprised that it's Kutsu filling the silence between us. Not that I mind, he's pretty damn good at it for such a somber guy. Wait, why is this song playing? I smile. Yeah, that's Leo. He really misses our old pack. Or does he? Kutsu laughs. Kutsu helps to laugh. Wolves.
Wolves.
I agree. Wolves. As we walk, I can smell the heavy musk coming from... What? Okay, heavy musk coming from... Okay. What? Are we checking out...
Going?
Are we checking out...
Can I introduce you to new love interests?
Is there... Can we really pursue him? We can just stop with Leo and just, hey, let's make a turn right here.
The good ending.
There's something special about hanging out with another musky creature. Oh, okay. But still, it makes you feel less self-conscious. So I know you hate Peyton, but don't you have to go back there for work?
Back in the day. I had a job studying desert plants after college. Good times.
Oh, okay, I guess it makes sense that he likes the garden. That would definitely put him a few steps above most people living in Echo, where a high school diploma is a rare thing. Wow, that's sad. An otter dog. Kutsu's a raccoon.
He's a raccoon. I'm a clerk in the town hall, so now I'm pretty much always here.
Always? Do you have a car?
Sold it after I came here.
Wow. Wait, Don't you have to get out of don't you have to get out to shop for food?
Sometimes I grow and fish for what I can, and the convenience store has surprisingly good produce section. But otherwise, Leo gives me rides every once in a while.
Ah, gotcha. And I'm curious about what exactly happened in Peyton. Gonna be gone by tomorrow. I don't find the question to be too intrusive, especially with all the information he's provided me so far. So I don't want to be nosy. I let the statement hang for a moment, and Kuzco turns his head towards me.
Maybe
Then-
you shouldn't ask.
Okay. That's me short, and I almost stopped walking. Feel my face get warm under the heat of the sun. Glance over the raccoon, but his expression isn't accusatory or angry. It's just neutral as it always is. It makes me wonder if if this is just the raccoon's way of speaking. I already know how blunt he can be. I decide to trust what little I know about him and press forward. No? Asked with the same straight face. Well,
Should always ask yourself if asking something nosy is a good idea. No reason to do it if you're gonna piss someone off needlessly.
Before I can even consider, Kuzco goes on.
Now, considering what we were just talking about, I can probably guess what you're gonna ask.
I can feel the embarrassment returning. Yeah?
But before I answer it, I have a question for you.
Oh boy, here we go. I shrink a little into myself. Yeah?
Why do you care?
This question definitely catches me surprised, and at first, I wonder if it's just Kuzu's way of telling me to shut up. But again, after looking at his face, I decided it's just to tell him the truth. Clear my throat. Well, I like you. You're a cool guy. Comes up rather lamely, but it is the truth. He has the demeanor of not really giving a fuck about what others think about him. It's like Flynn, except Kuzu didn't seem like he was putting up a front at all. On top of that, he stepped in to stop a crowbar wielding drug addict when he saw his friend in danger. Kuzu laughs genuinely, and I start, and it's a bit startling.
That's really the reason?
I'm flustered again. Well, yeah.
Fair enough. And I like you too. Leo was mostly right about you.
What did Leo say about me?
A lot of things, but you can't expect a wolf as love-smitten as he is to not exaggerate, can you?
This feels weird again. It doesn't feel as weird. Because, yeah, no, I do think that he legitimately loves Chase, just not in a healthy way.
Yeah.
No, I guess not. Step on a particularly large rock and lose my balance. Before I could even stumble, though, Kusu was grasping arm tightly, me from running into him. Oh, sorry, and thanks. Raccoon had damn fast reflexes. No problem. I would absolutely cheat on Leo for this man.
At first sight, I know it's what I want to.
Kudzu's my biggest crush.
Who is?
All of Echo. Kudzu.
Oh.
I tend to agree.
It's like you seem to be the only sane person here. I find that interesting.
I find that very attractive in a man. Sanity.
I start to walk around again, but Kusuke doesn't move. Let me make sure there's nothing important going on right now on my phone. Okay. I thought I was gonna get to use voice mod again during that dream sequence, but we didn't talk to anything. Stop and glance at him, but he's looking up the road, not at me.
I lost someone in Peyton.
Oh. It takes me a moment to realize what he's talking about, but then I do.
That guy with a gun who didn't give a fuck.
I swallow and don't say anything, looking down on the ground.
Happened on the same street we lived on.
Oh. First, I have no idea what to say and wait for Kudzu to go on, but he doesn't. When I look up, I see he's looking right at me. I swallow. Yeah, that would make me want to move too.
Yeah. People. And there's less of them here.
I'm sorry. Kudzu just looks back at me.
Why?
Up in my mouth, but before I can say anything, Kudzu smiles.
Kidding.
I let my breath out in relief and laugh a little. Well, could we keep going? I make as if to walk up the road again, but Kudzu doesn't follow. When I look back, he nods at the brush on the side of the road.
It's right here.
I wasn't expecting much, and I'm not disappointed as we came up to the pump. Mostly it's this rusted piece of metal sticking out of the ground. Kutsu seems a bit put off by how lame it is himself.
Smaller than I remember it being.
Eh, it's something at least. I'll get a few shots out of it. Backing the camera from the bag, a bit reluctant to do so for something so insignificant. How do you find this thing anyway? I look towards the road, which is basically hidden by dense brush in front of me.
Needed to take a piss, and I know my house is right there, but being outside is liberating.
Oh boy. I have a friend like that actually.
Speaking of which, I'm gonna go do that.
Pauses.
I can do it in front of the pump if you'd like, for effect.
Oh Jesus. I forced a laugh, wondering if this is the first time I've heard a raccoon make the raccoon make a joke. At least I hope it's a joke. My laughing turns to a groan though when I see the battery level. First my phone, now this.
What's up?
It's a ass from a bit deeper in the brush facing away from me. My battery is low, not gonna have enough for the school. I'll have to get back and grab a spare.
Oh, well, just finish the footage for the pump while I run back and grab you another battery.
You sure?
Well, yeah, it'll be faster. I've been in his house a few times. Where's it at?
Ugh.
What's
Kudzo
he
gonna
gonna
find?
find?
Yeah. What's he gonna find there?
Oh, is Leo gonna be there? Whoa.
Oh God.
And then Leo's gonna be like, "You've been hanging with my boy?"
In a dock on his desk right next to
Oh,
his
no,
computer.
Terrible feeling about this. What if he thinks
I'll
he's
be
being
back.
robbed?
Because it tugs off the brush and back into the road.
Oh no.
Within a minute, I feel like I have all the footage I can get out of the pump. I sigh and rub my face, glad to at least be out of the sun, but annoyed that I've gotten so little footage for it. As I'm doing this, I hear what sounds like a gag behind me. I perk my ears and look back. I hear it again, but it's softer. More of a grunt this time. I'm almost positive that Kuzco didn't go that way, but I can't imagine who else it would be. Kuzco? I wonder if maybe the heat has gotten to him. Oh, how dangerous heat stroke can be. Getting a little worried, I start moving further into the brush.
So,
Again,
before we
the spooky
continue,
noises.
again, I hear a
before we
gag,
continue-
and it's much
Uh-oh.
louder this
Wait,
time.
hold on.
You're being
hold on.
warned. You're being
Hold
warned,
on.
Gordon.
I'm being
Stop, Gordon.
It's a fair warning.
Mm-hmm.
This is very explicit, not in the way of it's a very heavy thing that you're about to read.
Should I
So-
put up the BRB screen again?
You don't need to, but there is a character that's going to come in that is absolutely disgusting. I hate them with my being.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Oh, you've met 3 junkies so far.
You haven't met the worst one.
Oh,
Oh no,
no.
they get worse.
Dude, you alright? Okay, sorry, just had to click off. Okay, there we go. I start pushing deeper with a little bit more urgency, and not 20 yards, I come into a clearing. Ground is covered in dead grass, and the sun hits me again with a vengeance. Blink furiously, eyes watering under the brightness of the clearing and the blazing red behind my eyelids. After a few seconds, I'm able to pry my eyes open. The first thing I notice is a peeling trailer to the right, pressed up into the trees. I have some vague memories of that trailer back here, where a grumpy badger used to live. Straight in front of me in the meadow is a dead tree, one with dry gnarled branches that twist up into the sky. The tree itself would be eerie enough, but it's what's under it that stops me dead. It takes me a moment to comprehend what I see. Hanging from the lowest branch is a body, long and thin, emaciated down to the skeleton. I remain rooted to the spot, my mouth hanging open. Disgustingly, my mind immediately goes to the camera. I don't know why. Yeah, showing footage of a dead body to the whole class. Either I'd get an A for being edgy or I'd fail for showing a fucking dead body, probably expelled actually. I feel my stomach starting to turn, and I'm finally able to take my first step back. But then it moves. It's a quick jerk, one of the skeleton's hands reaching up spasmodically, to its neck before slumping back down. My eyes fully adjusted to the sun. Now, I recognize the color of the fur, the build of that skeleton-like body. Oh no. On unsteady feet, I manage to stumble forward and reach towards the ringtail, aiming to at least hold him up until I can shout Kuds over to help. Somehow, though, he's able to spin and face me, his face an expression of mortified fury. His eyes are almost glowing with how bloodshot they are, and his twisted muzzle is covered in drool, leaking down to his chin onto his chest.
Leave.
What? Clint, what the hell are you doing? I move forward again, but Clint lashes out with a foot, hitting me in the knee. That's when I see his toes are touching the ground, at least barely. I stare in confusion and look back up to Clint's furious eyes.
Fucking leave.
Spit flies from his muzzle as I take a step back, completely at a loss for words. I don't. His bulging eyes move from mine to look over my shoulder, and his enraged expression melts, eyes growing wider. Slowly, I turn around. My vision is filled with a mountain of brown fur. My eyes take a moment to draw out and focus. When they do, I realize that I'm not actually looking at a bear. Oh, I'm actually a huge one even for a bear. Huge, naked, carrying a long, thin branch. The bear stands in the direction I'd come from, grinning stupidly at me. Instinctively, I widen my stance, eyes looking left and right. All the reason has seemingly left the land of echo, and now my brain is left to try to put the pieces of the crazy place together. I watch as a huge tongue sticks out from between the the blubbery lips to lick at them, sliding firmly between the gaps of missing teeth. Once he's done with that, he breaks into a grin again, and those black lips shimmer under the sun.
I really don't want to voice this guy, but I will.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Okay, just warning you, this character has really harsh words.
Okay, so expect some slurs.
Yes.
All right. That's the friend. That's the friend cat. The really high-pitched voice is about as startling as his size. I look back at Clint, who's struggling to stand on his toes, clutching at the rope now. So hard to find a good switchback here, but now it's worth it. If then there's two of you. The squeak that comes out of my muzzle seems to prick the bear's stubby ears as he licks his lips again, as he has me up and down. I should get going. Sorry about saying. Words fail me as the bear takes a step forward. I start sidestepping, preparing myself to make a run for it. Bear mimics my stance, and my stomach drops as I could take another step forward. I change my trajectory back away instead. This time he doesn't follow me, just grins as he watches me move back into the brush. Then struggles on the end of his rope, twirling around lazily as he tries to get a foothold. I get one last look at his face as he spins around, and I'm struck by the expression. For a moment, I'm 9 years old again, running behind the buildings of Main Street, probably from imaginary foreign agents of some kind. When I hide behind the tree next to Clint's house, I hear the screen door open. For several minutes, I watch Clint breathing heavily into a rag. Too young to understand, but for some reason I know it's not good. Oh, he was huffing paint.
Yeah.
I remember Leo, one of the two, mentioned that. I finally decide to run from my hiding spot. Clint looks up and we meet eyes. His eyes are wide and wild, confused and hurt, just like now. I tumble into the brush, finally feeling like I'm far enough away to turn and really make a run for it. Kudzu's standing next to the pump when I get back, holding a battery. I grab his arm and yank him towards the road. Come on. I mutter it under my breath before jogging down the road to close behind, looking over his shoulder. Until we're at the end of the road, turning onto Main Street, then I'm able to slow myself down and tell Kudzu what happened.
Holy shit. That's Brian.
Brian?
Brian!
Who? I'm still panting, sweating heavily in the heart after the short jog down the street.
Big ass bear that lives in the brush, right? He has a trailer in there.
I don't know him. Did he move here after I left? I thought a badger lived in that trailer.
I assume so. He was here when I got here.
Well, what the fuck was he doing? The hell did I just see? My mind is still trying to process it.
I don't have the answer. Can't say I'm surprised, though.
Are you serious? That's like the most fucked up thing I've ever seen. It just smirks.
Well, I guess I would have had to been there, huh?
I stare at him. Yeah, I guess.
From what I know of Brian, he's dumb and violent. Pretty sure he came here because he caused too much trouble in Peyton.
It's Clint that's the fucked up part. He's a fucking homophobe. But he's doing that shit?
I don't know much about Clint either. What I do know is that Brian is his dealer.
Oh god, is he getting meth for sexual favors?
That's what is implied right now.
Okay, well,
Lovely.
okay, yeah. Oh boy. So maybe that. Oh, this is a lot to take in. Yeah, no, my mind's like, my mind's just like, oh, well, maybe he's just embarrassed. Maybe nothing too violent was just gonna happen. We just walked in on sexual escapades, but also he's the dealer, and obviously the power dynamic here is severely off balance.
And not to mention the whole being on a noose incident.
God, I want to make a joke about that, but like, that was a lot to take in.
No.
Well, I'm not saying he was suicidal or anything, but like, well, how many famous people have died due to autoerotic asphyxiation?
No idea.
Okay, the guy, Bill from Kill Bill, was the last one I remember.
Damn.
They found him dead in a hotel with a belt around his neck and his pants down.
Oh.
I don't know much about Clint either. What I do know is Brian is his dealer. Really? Well, oh wait.
Well, yeah. Well, really, the entire town's dealer.
Jesus. It made sense that Clint would need one in Echo, considering he was banned for life from driving after like 3 DUIs. But I thought Jeremy did that. Carl told me that's where he got his weed. As he shrugs again.
I assume Clint is using more than just marijuana.
Oh yeah. Ah. Becoming clear that kind of relationship Clint and the bear have. I shudder just wishing that I hadn't had to witness it. I already feel bad for Clint, but now Kudzu holds the battery still in his hand.
Want to move to the school?
Yeah, let's do that.
Anywhere far from here.
Yeah.
Take me far away from here.
Oh, that was a lot. Oh my god.
The horror is here. The horror that you've been pining for.
I still think the dream and the thing with Leo is still. Actually, no. The computer is still the scariest moment here. I mean, finding out Leo was manipulating everyone to get what he wanted. Honestly, is just kind of par for the course for Leo. I'm not surprised by this. But it's just like there was so much we should have talked about, and why did we ignore this? So you can feel nice, so you can feel nostalgic. Chase, you're fucking dumb. The next hour is pretty uneventful, though I do get enough footage to the point where I'm satisfied. There's a point where I notice Duke down the road. He stands there for a while watching us as I'm getting different angles of the school. Okay, even though Duke is another meth head, there's some sense of relief when he's around because weird shit's happening to him too.
You can relate.
Yeah. It's annoying, but even though he's a complete fuck up, he likes to pretend like he's in control of things in Echo. Probably just promote himself to sheriff of the town in his mind or something. I ignore him ignore him though, and the next time I look up, he's gone. I turn my attention back to the project, finally able to calculate how much work I actually have left. Now, most of the work is going to have to happen the night before the due date. I swallow, stomach churning at the thought. On the bright side, all of this stress is pushing the memory of Clint being hanged and whipped out of my mind.
Well, you just brought it up again, so good job.
No, I mean, I'm relieved that Clint wasn't in danger parentheses, but also, yeah, no, that was a lot to learn about Clint in like just the span of a few seconds. I was like, oh, am I in danger? And it's like, no, Clint's embarrassed that we caught him getting, I don't know, sexual favors done for meth.
How a long time ago you started talking about like internalized homophobia. I think that's the whole situation with Clint.
Oh, I mean, it could be internalized queer phobia. He could be bi, he could be something else, but yeah,
True.
there's
Yeah.
definitely something there. As if internalized homophobia isn't just internalized queer phobia when you think about it. Later on, I finally get another text from Leo just before his phone before the phone dies. Heading back. Hungry. We should meet at the diner. There. Yes, we need to have this conversation in a very public place. I invite Kudzo to come along, but he tells me that he can't stand diner food and that he was gonna go fishing anyway. Too bad, because I've been really enjoying the raccoon's company and fishing sounds relaxing. I wonder if he could barehand fish. You think he really... Okay, because I'm just... it's just like, oh, he's an otter. Maybe he really fucking loves seafood in general, particularly shellfish. I tried to exchange numbers with the raccoon, but my screen dies the moment I turn it on. Kudzo takes my number, though, and promises to text me. I'm feeling better walking to the diner, but then I remember what happened with Leo, what I might have to do. Should I bring it up now? I don't even know where it'll end up going. Could I even trust him again? Oh boy, here we go.
Here we go again.
I wish I had a drink right now. All right. Yeah, I bet everyone else in this game, except for TJ, could really use one. Oh, like something alcoholic in particular. Me, I just want a hot tea, though. And not a hot toddy, just like a hot tea. Because, like, I can feel the weird sinus shit happening in my nose again. It was not in the diner when I get there. I pick a booth towards the back. Why are we back here? God! With the meth head waitress. Oh my god, this fucking town. Okay. I pick a booth towards the back, resting my head against the patchy cushions and closing my eyes. The week's gone by so fast. I feel like it's only yesterday that we actually got here. Oh, I like this song.
It's very nice.
It feels appropriate. This song feels like I'm lost I'm lost in my head with a series of thoughts, and it's just like I have to organize and make sense of all of this. And that's what Chase is feeling right now, but I'm also feeling that right now. Thinking back, I remember worrying that everything was going to be awkward, that our past would catch up in the worst way possible. And it kind of did. We didn't fix or talk about anything. It gives me a jolt of realization and sadness. This whole time I've been preoccupied with Leo, and Leo with me. Wasn't Leo the one who was all concerned about us not keeping the pack together? This send-off feels empty and pointless. It's really the last time I might get to hang out with some of them, mainly Jenna and TJ. And TJ had the most shit to air out. Did I fuck up by basically ignoring him this whole time? I feel a lump in my throat as I think about the hike I never went on with him.
The promise you made.
Yeah. Sure, I'd figured things out with Leo, at least temporarily. Very temporarily, actually. Actually, things are in jeopardy again. But now it feels like things I should have talked about with the others have been buried further. Even though I haven't seen the others for a few days, I feel their resentment knowing that Leo and I got what we wanted. Or at least I thought I got what I wanted, especially after leaving them to deal with the fallout of Flynn's meltdown. And now because of all of that, it'll be harder to reach the root of the problem, harder to talk about it. Where's my blanket? Where's it?
I'm gonna scream.
God. Oh my god. Ah! I just want to slap them, but I don't know which one.
All of them, all in a singular line.
Oh my god. Oh, you're the stupidest protagonist visual I've ever met, Chase. And because of that, we probably never will. Glance at my dead phone, reminded of the complete lack of text from anyone other than Leo. I suppose this is life. Sometimes things are buried and never talked about again. And in a way, I guess that's for the best. Sydney's death will die with us. It just sucks that we all carry it, but can't really rely on each other for support. That's the thing that hurts the most, is that all this is tied to Sydney, but... And in some weird, happier AU fan fiction, I want to imagine someone wrote, like, a story where it's just like, no, everything's in character, all the dialogues is just right, and they meet up and they just let it all out. Because this isn't something that has to be done individually between them. They need to meet as a group and they need to talk about it. And they just never did. How long? God, this is making me think about how... Okay, a little real talk here. My situation with my abuser. I basically typed out a couple of paragraphs and then just ghosted him. And sometimes I think, did I do the right thing? And to be honest, I feel like I did, because if I felt that if I listened to him any longer, I would have just ignored everything that I learned at that realization, that I would have lost myself in him. That, like, I would have stopped caring about myself and only focusing on him. Because there was, during that recovery period, I was like, oh, I hate this. I hate that this person that was in my life for so long, that meant a lot, it just isn't there anymore. And, it was my decision, but then I think about how bad things got towards the end, and it's just all like, nothing would have gotten better. As much as I hate the situation I'm in now, nothing would have gotten better. So I don't regret my decision. Let's see. Okay, back to this. All right, I take a deep breath, wondering how long it will take me to process this whole trip, or maybe my entire life up to this moment. It's at this point I noticed Janice hasn't come up to take my order. The diner itself is completely quiet, no old rockabilly coming over the staticky speakers. I look around wondering if maybe this place closed. I remember a few businesses didn't lock their doors, mostly because of negligent employees, because burglary is somewhat common here. I look through the plastic window and the swinging door to the kitchen past the counter and notice that the fluorescent lights are definitely on. In fact, it looks like I could see some movement from the shadows on the wall.
No.
Oh boy, what's happening now?
What are we getting ourselves into this time?
I think about getting up and knocking at the door to let them know I'm here, but that's when the front door push open, comes in, a big grin on his face. Oh god, the sad music's still playing. Oh no. I can hear the happiness and the amount of U's and A's being used here, and it sucks.
It hurt.
The thing that sucks too is that, because you told me that the best I'm gonna get from this game are bittersweet endings, and that makes me think that no matter what route I take, there are gonna be unresolved issues. So by pursuing one person, regardless of who it is, I'm leaving something behind, and that also feels kind of sad. But there's always going to be something left unresolved, no matter which path I take in this game. His stomach twists as he sweeps up my side, and I can't help but jerk it away when he kisses at my cheek. He pulls back, frowning.
Chase?
I sigh, not able to meet his eyes. Leo, I need to talk to you about something. Immediately, I could see the worry in his eyes. He steps back, watching me.
What?
Ah, fuck, I'm gonna start crying. Oh boy. Oh, there's gonna be... We're hurting people tonight, folks. Okay.
That people being you.
The hardest decisions are usually the best decision to make, okay?
Yeah, no, that's boy. I just, given the story I just told, I know from personal experience.
This is why this route destroyed me.
All right, sit down.
Why?
Leo asks, but sits down anyway. First, I have to tell him that I have to look through his fucking phone, and that's bad enough. I looked to the right heart pounding.
Otter, what is it?
Oh no. Where am I? What the fuck are they called? Where are the puffs? Where are those tissues with the lotion on them so I don't fuck up my face? His voice is soft, but I can hear the slight tremble in it. God, because I want to watch Keith's playthrough of this. Because he mentions that he got emotional playing Adastra, and then watching his video on it, it's like, oh, who wouldn't get emotional over that? And oh boy. Okay, God, I should have made that tea earlier. It would have been cold by now, but still. His voice is soft, but I can hear a slight tremble in it. Leo, I looked at your phone.
What?
I jump as Leo hackles, rise, and he bares his teeth. It's not an anger reaction, more defensive, fearful. Leo.
Why the fuck would you do that?
Think back, looking down as I listen to his breathing pick up. I'm sorry, but you know what I saw.
Fuck, man.
Leo puts his face in his hands and gives me an opportunity to look up. Ears are down, dripping towards the table. Why did you do that? I wait a while Leo continues to hide his face, his body rocking.
Now.
Not now what?
You can't do this to me. Now. Not after.
I didn't do anything. You're the one texting people that I don't give a fuck about them. His head's not up, then I can see his eyes glistening.
I didn't say that. I just said you were busy.
And what you said to TJ? Leo winces at that one, and he sums back into his booth, his face dejected, desperate.
Please, Chase. Just try to understand.
What? Some anger into my voice, wanting to show Leo that I'm not gonna forgive him just because he's sad. I think he realizes that because his face changes up, lips barred out of anger this time.
I'm real fucking guilty, aren't I?
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
And all the red
Uh-oh.
flags we thought we saw are in clear view now. Alright. Well, I knew this was gonna get messy.
Yep.
Alright. Once again, these are the bandages that need to be ripped off the fastest.
Yep.
Hopefully we'll be better people after this. Yeah, you are.
Says the asshole who just ditches me, avoids me, won't talk to me.
I don't say anything in response.
And you wonder why I'm fucked up about this? You're the one that just walked out and left me.
You should have had this conversation when we first went to your house!
It's too late.
It's too
No, now I'm mad at Leo. Now I'm mad at Leo. This honestly, this is what you should have said when when we were first at his house. This should have been the conversation.
Yeah.
So, okay. I'm not hating them now because they're having the conversation. I am still upset that they didn't do it earlier. But we're all human, and fuck, I used to be like this. I used to hate conflict and just, because I used to think anger was such a childish emotion. It's one of the reasons why I let my abuser just walk all over me, because I never wanted to make anyone angry. I was just like, no, being angry is childish, and it's not. Anger is a completely natural reaction, and most of us experiment when someone did something really fucked up to us. I feel his anger right here, and I think it's justifiable. But he was so much of a love-struck idiot to fucking do anything about it. All right. I was young.
Yeah, you keep saying that like you're not young now. If you had actually dumped me then maybe I wouldn't be this fucking messed up about it.
I guess they still are young, so you know.
Oh shit, the last sentence escalates into a scream, and I flatten back into the booth, glaring up at him. Leo never hurt me before, and I'm not afraid he will now. I've endured plenty of his tantrums. You know how crazy this makes you look.
Great. You too?
I'm serious. This is fucking unacceptable. I'm drawing the line here. Leo's snarling face turns up, and that's when I hear movement behind me. I turn in my seat to see Janice striding out behind the counter, the kitchen door swinging shut behind her.
Jenna?
Is she naked again? Leo's fur flattens back down like he's forgotten all about our argument. It makes sense why.
Uh-oh.
Something's wrong. Janice had been acting strange all week, gradually looking more haggard and pissed off as time went on. Of course, I hadn't forgotten what happened on the side of the road a few days back. But I'd been content with just assuming it had been some type of drug-fueled adventure of hers. Now I'm convinced she's having a mental breakdown. Her fur is mushed up every inch of her body. Her eyes are wild and wide, similar to how I'd seen Clint earlier. Blood is smeared across her apron, and the handle of a knife sticks out from the front pocket.
Janice, are you okay?
She's not the one you should be asking.
Leo's half standing. I'm not sure if it's because of he's afraid of her or afraid for her or of her. He didn't say anything, and she she sidles? Siddles? I don't know that word.
Idols, yeah, sidles.
Sidles up next to the booth, a slide a bit towards the inside. Under her wild gaze, I'm feeling a little trapped.
Janice.
Wow, all of you shouting. Little impatient? Let me take your order and I'll get you settled.
Are you okay? Are you cooking?
I'm cooking him, yeah.
Leo gazes at her apron. Yes, I'm cooking today. What can I make you? I get the unnerving. Okay, now that the music's playing again, I'm under the impression that, like, she's fine. Maybe that's, maybe she was.
She's covered in blood holding a bloody knife.
No, yeah. But like maybe she was cutting meat. That's the thing I'm thinking.
I think she was cutting meat.
She was definitely cutting meat.
I get the unnerving feeling that she isn't even looking at us. Leo glances back at me, to which I respond with a bewildered look of my own.
You know, I think we might.
Nonsense, I've got everything fired up in the kitchen.
Oh no.
Leo doesn't respond, just stares at the big coyote. Denise smiles crookedly. Well, if you're not gonna order something, then I'll just make your favorite. With that, she turns and starts waddling off, having not even acknowledged me. What the fuck? In my pocket, thinking about calling the ambulance for the poor woman until I remember my phone, my dead phone. I whisper over to Leo, should we leave?
Maybe.
This is okay. The situation is kind of funny considering how everything's just stopped, and now we're just thinking about self-preservation right now, or making sure we don't, or that we don't witness something horrible happen.
Yeah.
Leo doesn't move, just stares after Janice. I look out the window to the sun-baked road. Have you noticed that something's off?
Oh, Janice? No shit.
Not just her, the whole town. Think about mentioning the meadow with Clint and Brian, but I'm still trying to absorb that myself. Leo sits back, looking back at the kitchen door where Janice disappeared.
Honestly, people act so crazy here. I don't know if it's because of drugs or because they're actually crazy.
I see his nose twitch.
And I don't think she knows how to cook. Something smells funny in there.
I look back out the window, wondering if I should bring up our argument again. That scene with Janice is totally throwing me off, and I'm reluctant to waste more energy on yelling.
Dennis, you've ruined everything right now.
Ah, fuck.
They were laying it all out, and now you're.
Oh.
They're about to be served mystery meat burgers.
It has to be brought up again somehow. We can't just let this shit. Oh, wait. We can't just let this sit. I thought he meant we can't just let this shit sit here.
Well, basically, but you're putting your own emotion into it.
It's clear that's exactly what Leo wants, though, so I huff and stare out the window. This fucking town. I haven't been paying much attention to it in the past few days, being too infatuated with Leo. Sure, I've said some weird things, but it seems in my absence, everyone's gone fucking wacky shack. I look at Leo. Have you been noticing any of this weird shit going on? Leo sighs.
Again, I never know what's weird or not here. I guess I've noticed a few things.
I couldn't notice how fucking crazy you were going. I frown. Are you just hoping I wouldn't notice? Leo doesn't say anything, instead he just goes on staring at the kitchen. Would he really just let me blindly move to this town when he knew everyone was going crazy? Yes! It's about fucking time that thought appeared into your goddamn head!
And you were gonna go along with it! Even though you can plainly see for yourself.
Oh my god. I have never gotten so... Because here's something I'm very fond of, and I think I've mentioned this before. I like it when characters get confronted with their flaws or negative personality traits that have become more prominent or hard to ignore. Like, basically, when someone breaks down a character, but, like, to their face. Like, I used to have a lot of them, but the only one I ever remember is when Quagmire, like, tells Brian why he can't have a healthy relationship with him, that he... Like, Quagmire gets tired of being polite and is just all like, look, you're a terrible person. And he lists off this rather large list of, like, yeah, flaws of Brian, but also it's kind of hard to, I mean, as much as I love that scene, it's still Family Guy. So it's just like, what the hell's canon here? Like, we're just picking and choosing the terrible examples for Brian when there's a lot more to be, like, mentioned or whatever. But there's a relief to be had in those kinds of situations, and I'm definitely feeling that right now. I don't think things are gonna get better for anyone, but at the very least, you know, an attempt is being made right now. Looking out the window, I noticed a figure moving up the street jogging. A feline? TJ? Is that Tej? Leo glances out the window, looks
Looks
out.
like it. Out for a jog, of course.
The wolf turns his attention back to the counter as Denise comes out, a messily dribbling milkshake in her hand.
Hey, Janice, what are you cooking back there?
Why do I keep calling her Janice? It'd be Janice, right?
Looks
It'd
like
be-
Janice to me.
Yeah, Janice, as if there was, like, something over the I guess.
Maybe. I'm not too certain how it's pronounced either.
I'm just trying to say Janice, but I don't know, for some reason I default on Janice. I glance at the crazy coyote as she wobbles over to us, staring at the milkshake with wide eyes. She made us a meat milkshake, y'all.
But whose meat?
I'm gonna assume, for my sanity, that she just happened to find, like, sausage or meat in there
You
and
can't
just...
be doing this. We've been on
You
this ride
can't
for long
deny
enough.
the horror. There is something weird smelling in the back. Leo has stated this.
Mm-hmm.
And wolves' noses don't lie.
This is true.
I have a feeling
Mm.
that I know what it is, but I'm not gonna say anything until confirmation. You know what?
Okay,
I'll type it to you guys in the little private channel we got going on.
go for it.
Sure, why not?
Oh, Lord.
Let's see if I'm right. Oh, hold
Well,
on.
What kind of meat?
Okay. Leo lets out a hollow laugh. Yeah, what kind of meat?
meat?
I'll just be honest with you. It's a bit tough and straight.
Oh, jeez. You might be along the right lines.
I lose interest in the conversation. Instead, look back out at TJ. I feel like something's off for sure.
Oh, shit.
He's a ways away, but he looks kind of afraid. One of his hands reaches out to bat at something. Something's wrong. I muttered
Seeing
under my breath
things.
and start to stand, set on getting out there to see what's going on with him. But at that moment, a truck pulls up to the parking lot in front of our window. I find myself staring right at Duke. Again, Duke, his presence relieves me. Hopefully, he
Uh-oh.
could be like, hey,
No.
something.
No, read
Oh,
the next
boy.
line,
Read.
I also see something back in his pickup. Oh, no.
Gordon.
So your comfort was from Duke, right?
Duke. That's his out to look over at the window. As the weasel gets off his truck, I see something in his hand. A gun.
Mhm.
Shit. Language, Leo.
He's bringing in a gun.
Leo reaches across the table for me. Are we gonna
Uh-oh.
have a fucking gunfight in the middle of this fucking diner? Also, what the fuck was TJ running from?
Well,
He's batting at something, but there's nothing.
Oh,
there's nothing
fuck.
there.
Hey,
the
remember-
horror juice has gotten into him.
Oh,
Yep.
no. Here we go.
Remember, I did say this has supernatural elements to it, so
Yeah. My cousin relief is not available now. Please leave a message. All right. We're drinking deep from the horror juice cup now.
this is all
Yeah,
you're all
I'm
drink-
here.
Drink
Janice.
the meat milkshake.
But she's already striding over to the doors just as Duke pushes through them.
Chase, get down.
But Duke spots us immediately. Really not to fucking run away from me. He said, "Is Duke a drug lord?" He starts towards our tables, but Janice on her way to the kitchen intercepts him. Duke, is that a gun? I am not going to have you barging in here to ruin the peace. She sticks her bulky body in this way. The fuck out of my way. Language.
What language?
I don't like saying that word. As if Janice doesn't notice that there's a fucking gun being waved next to her face. John grabs
Think she's
Leo's
gonna get
arm,
out of
trying
it.
to pull him down. Call the police, my phone's dead. Leo sits and then looks around. The only exit at the front. We're trapped. You don't think those fuckers are behind all this? You've been seeing that otter around too, haven't you?
Oh, they've all gone crazy from the horror juice.
Yeah, I'm not concerned with that anymore. I've made things right. You're not fucking concerned that what happened to our grandparents is happening to us. I want to ask you to leave again. Her voice is threatening from this angle. I can't see her hands, but I can see she's reaching for something. Oh my god.
Chase, get down.
Oh fuck. Leo's voice is bizarrely calm, but as he reaches over to me, I
Oh,
can
does
feel
he
him
have a
shake.
gun on him as well?
He
Is that-
usually says that he does have the gun on him. He presses down on my shoulder, and as I'm about to slide under the table, I see Janice move forward. Then, yep, I
Nope,
cover my head
nope.
and cower against the booth under the table. Leo shouts and
Uh-oh.
yanks me up against his side, covering me with his arms. I hear him breathe heavily into my ear, and I stare wide-eyed from under the booth, only able to see a dirty beige wall opposite of us. Leo's breathing is all I can hear right now, otherwise it's silent. You hear Duke muttering something under his breath, followed by his soft paddling footsteps. 2 seconds later, his legs come into view, and his feet turn in to face us. I see the gun dangling from one hand before he raises it slightly, pointing it at us. I close my eyes. How did this happen? Seconds ago, Leo and I were arguing, and now I'm about to fucking die. I keep my eyes tightly closed, hugging Leo as hard as I can and wait, but nothing happens. Keep my face pressed into Leo's chest, though, wondering if I'm already dead. Finally, Duke speaks. Leo, out. Otter, you stay there. I feel Leo hesitate against me when his lips press against my ear.
Be okay, baby. Just stay here.
Oh, God. See, I would not have. I just immediately the fear would just leave, and it's just like, God, don't no, just let me talk to the bath head. He went outside. We'll continue this conversation later. As he tries to stumble across what I assume would be Janice's corpse, because I think she's just straight up dead. Slowly, he untangles my arms from around him, then his hands up. He pushes me out from under the table and stands up. Face the wall. Leo hesitates and Duke growls. I'm gonna fucking kill ya. But just figuring out what's happening is all. Killing ya doesn't fix anything. Last guy got killed and that didn't fix shit.
You shot Janice.
She got in my fucking way. But it don't matter, everything's fucked up now. Leo turns to face the wall slowly, watching from the space between the table and the booth.
What do you
What do you want? To fix this fucking town. You're starting something with this Zada. This has all happened before. Duke looks out the window and makes a come on motion with his hand. We're gonna stop it from happening this time. Leo looks to the left.
You fucking killed Janice.
I hear the wolf's voice break slightly. Won't matter in the long run. The doors rattle as someone comes in. You got the zip ties? Hands behind your back, Leo. Leo looks at whoever just came in.
Come on.
Now! Oh shit, it's Brian!
Yeah,
Oh god.
Did you figure that out?
Well, he's
Sort
the
of
only bear
dreading
mentioned.
Yeah.
I'm more surprised that like Leo might be the head honcho in this drug dealing
Well,
thing.
I don't think Brian has much brains to him, so yeah, I think it's gonna be Duke.
Yeah, no, that definitely happens when you're on meth for a while.
Mm.
Slowly, Leo does as he's told, and I see a pair of massive paws reach forward to bind the wolf's wrist. So hard as I watch Brian pull the zip tie tight. Duke puts a forearm to his nose. Fuck you, stink. I'll be and kill that ringtail. We could use them. Brian just grins in response, his teeth yellow. My heart sinks as I think about Clint. Had he been warning me to run? Why had I thought that him hanging from the tree like that was probably just a normal thing for him and the bear? Was he a victim of whatever crazy had just hit the town? That must have been what was going on. All of this is hitting me at once. It can't be a coincidence. That was probably just as scared as I am now. I have the honor and Tom up too. Just stick him in the trailer for now. My stomach drops. Duke gestures with the gun again. Come on out. My legs are lead. I can't move. Leo looks over his shoulder at me, and the fear in his eyes scares me even more. His muzzle moves, mouthing something. Run. I still can't move. I've never been so scared in my life. It's like everything is numb. Brian doesn't care though and moves forward, the look on his eager face. The gun goes off again. Everyone, including Brian, jumps, and I hit the floor with my hands over my head. Fuck. What's going on? I look up and see Duke
has entered the party.
extra wild dancing around, pointing the gun upwards at the ceiling. You see that? She's crawling up there. I told her she's on my ceiling, ever not watching me.
Oh, I see.
Brian's looking up too. For the first time, his face is twisted into an expression that isn't stupidly grinning. It's full of fear. When I look up and see nothing,
Chase!
Leo hisses at me and then jolts back to reality, not even willing myself to do so. I shoot out from under the table. In front of me are two exits. The front door's and the kitchen door, which is closer.
Right.
There has to be an exit in the kitchen, but I'm not sure of that. My leg's already making me run, though. I already have to choose.
Kitchen or the front door?
Huh?
The kitchen or the front door? You're running.
I want you to tell me which one's the scarier one. I think it's going to be the kitchen. The kitchen?
Yeah, I think you're about to see some shit in the
If you
kitchen.
go through the front door, you're just gonna get shot.
I figured. I have no idea how long Duke beats his target. So I dive behind the counter for my closest exit.
Don't look back, Chase. Go fast as you can.
Shit, he's getting away. Brian! Oh man, are we gonna see Clint dead back here?
We're gonna see something.
Yeah, I pushed past the swinging door and immediately slipped. Oh, we slipped on blood!
We did.
One moment I'm standing, and the next I'm laying on the ground, face stinging from the smack into the tile. I stare blarily at the ground, forcing myself to move again, but it's still so slippery. At first I think the tiles are just red, but then, yep, the overpowering metallic scent hits my nose, and I realize it's more than that. Blood is everywhere, and now I'm covered in it. I sob, wondering when the nightmare is gonna end, when the paralysis will hit me. Fuck, get her off me! Is he tripping right now?
Well, you see,
No,
no, it's the supernatural
there's
elements of this game.
TJ is seeing stuff.
Yeah.
He doesn't do that.
No, you're right. Oh boy. Yeah, now the horror dial is now officially in the Silent Hill zone. I force myself to move because I need to get the fuck out of here, dream or not. I slip and slide along the tile trying to stand, almost failing. I manage to grab the metal counter and yank myself up, and then I'm standing over the counter over what's on top of it, a pile of meat. I can see the fur, but it's a mound of unrecognizable parts, butchered. Something cooks on the stove. My stomach turns and I heave, but there's nothing in me to come up. A bang behind me forces me to turn to my right. I see the mountainous form of Brian charge through the door. He slips immediately, but his momentum still takes him forward as he reaches out for me. Next thing I know is that I've been hit by a car and I'm flying back. I know how that feels. I stop short of hitting the ground thanks to the wall behind me, and my head explodes.
Game over.
The darkness that surrounds me is painful. I feel like I'm floating in the Black Sea, and nothing about this is comforting or peaceful. I feel a fitful doze. Fitful?
Pitfall.
Yeah.
Fitful doze when you have a really bad fever. Oh,
Yeah.
I know that feeling, and I feel like it's hitting me now. It feels awful and murky and sick. I feel my head tilt back, and a lightning bolt arcs through my head. I try to open my eyes, but they only manage to flutter, and I see flashes of red above me. Something is hooked under my back, and I'm dangling from it. I imagine a rope tied around me, holding me above the dark abyss below. Is this hell? I grip my teeth as the searing red becomes too much to look at. And this kind of creeped me out now because I have my Switch in front of the computer monitor, and I have the red controller on it, so a little bit of red was reflecting off the monitor.
Immersion.
Too much to look at, and I close my eyes again. This must be a nightmare, one that feels too real. I've had them before, and now I have to deal with them. I just need to go back to sleep, to drift off, and I'll wake up back up in my bed. I go back to sleep and wake up back in my dorm. Wait, an echo? I try to think, try to prod back into my memories. Where was I last? What was the last thing that I remember doing? Trying to remember is monumental, more than I can handle. Unfortunately, I drift back into unconsciousness. I'm pulled back into the sickly dark as something jolts my body. I grimace and gasp. I'm filled with such a feeling of unprovoked loneliness and despair, and I actually feel my eyes watering, and a sob escapes my mouth. I hear a soft chuckle above me and go quiet. I still don't know where I am or what's going on at all, but that laugh is enough to tell me that I don't want to be where I am. The feeling of hanging from a rope is gone now. Instead, I'm lying on something flat and hard, and my arms and legs are spread out. The air is cool now, and my skin is cold and wet, like I've been sweating a lot. The feeling is especially strong along my back, and I want to roll over, but I can't. Something is holding my arms down, and there's a rattling sound when I try to move. I moan and try to open my eyes again, though it's almost like they're glued shut. With a little more effort, I manage to crack one open. At first, all I see is a blur of colors above me, and I have to blink a few times to clear it. Slowly, the image comes together, and I'm able to make out that someone is there above me. You motherfucker! It's been you this whole fucking time! All right. Well, I got hey, I get to use my voice filter now, so yay! Oh
What was the
god.
silver lining?
Well, what was it? Because part of me thought, because I've seen fan art of this thing, and part of me thought, is this just like how Chase sees himself? Is it a reflection, or is the supernatural element here just really fucking with us? Could be a little bit of both. I feel my blood run cold, realizing that someone has been watching me this whole time, but I'm lying down. How's someone on the ceiling? I tried to speak, but only a dry, crackling squeak comes out of my throat. At this point, my vision is cleared enough to make out an otter. An otter? I squint. Blue shirt, beige pants? I gasp and reflectively try to draw back from the thing. Is it me? It smiles. It's missing my goatee. Is it a younger version of Chase? Like, or maybe it's taking the form of a younger one? Since it doesn't have the goatee?
You will not know until you keep on reading the routes and it gives you clues.
How? The flat surface I'm lying on tilts precariously and my stomach lurches. I try to clutch. God, there's so much happening all at once. I just wanted to leave this town, finish my project, and just tell my ex, hey, that was fucking awful. And next thing you know, we're in a gunfight with 3 meth heads, and all this is fucking happening. God, this
Are you having fun going to art now?
This mirrors my experience with Silent Hill, because when I got to the halfway point in Silent Hill, I was done with it. I was done with this town trying to scare me at every opportunity, make me feel lonely. I was just fucking done. And every time I was confronted with like pyramid heads or the zombies or whatever creature, I'm just like, fucking bring it. Because I was just done. Like the fight against the 2 pyramid heads is supposed to be intimidating, and I'm just like, no, fucking bring it, you bitches, because I'm fucking tired of this shit. I try to clutch the surface, though there's nothing to grab onto. Oh no, come back.
He's gonna get closer.
Let me voice, baby. I just want to voice. I wanted to say something so I could use voice mod. I shut my eyes and gag as I feel my stomach swirling around inside me. All I can do is pray for it to stop, feeling like everything around me is about to fall over. The ache in my head is magnified tenfold, and tears start to leak from my eyes. Just then I think about this. I think I'm about to slip off the face of the earth. The ground starts to tilt back the other way. I swallow and gasp for air, my entire body shaking and sweating all over again. I feel like I've been swimming too long and my body is exhausted. What the hell is going on?
Good question.
I remember that someone was staring down at me from the ceiling, and my eyes open again, fearful. Oh shit. Are we looking at ourselves here?
It might be a mirror.
I think I'm gonna put the BRB screen up because I think things are gonna get a little explicit.
It doesn't show much. It doesn't at all.
Oh,
yeah.
Never mind.
He's wearing his shirt and beige pants.
Okay, I know, we're fine. He's fully clothed. Okay, but now it's not smiling. A tear-stained expression is on its face. It's a mirror. But then again, it was a mirror that made Leo lose it when he got drunk.
That's a good point.
So, whatever the supernatural, if it is a supernatural element, or everyone's just off their fucking rockers, it's connected to mirrors.
CJ was seeing something, so you know.
Oh shit, and he was out in the open. There were no mirrors there. A mirror on the ceiling? I try to sit up, but come up short, gagging as something tightens around my neck. Try to move my hands to whatever it is, and that doesn't work either. That same rattling sound I heard earlier makes me look towards my right hand to see what makes my blood freeze. Around my wrist is what looks like a leather strap. Oh no.
I mean, you can see it in the image.
No, but it's just what I'm afraid of. I desperately look at the other hand and okay, whew. No, I thought it was the bracelet, and I was just like, oh fuck, did Leo just kidnap us while this was happening?
Oh my God.
Did I get the yandere ending?
Oh God.
I desperately look at my other hand to find the same result. Looking at my feet, the same contraptions fixed to my ankles. Then I try to lift one of my feet and see metal glinting from underneath, making me think that the leather is bolted into the platform. Panic rises in my chest as I kick my feet and try to flail my hands, but the straps hold firm into what looks like wooden planks, which is the platform that I'm laying on. They're arranged in a way to leave me spread eagle. Uh, Over the leather, I can smell all kinds of musk, though the strongest one reminds me of Clint. I try to lift my head, but the thing around my neck is too tight and instantly makes me choke again. Hold on. Damn it, still no voice mod. My head throbs. Tears start to form in my eyes again as if I try to think back. The fuck am I? Is this a prank of some kind? Maybe my friends at the dorm trying to scare me? Had I been drinking at a party? No, wait, I'm an Echo. That's the last place I remember being. I'm here for a project, and I'd been with my old friends. I was with Leo, and I'd been at the diner. Suddenly, all the horrible things that had happened that day came rushing back. Janice, Clint, Brian, the gun. Oh my god. Did that really happened? I struggled a bit more, then tried to think. I had run to Leo's house. Leo, I don't know what happened to him. I left him with Duke. And then Brian had been chasing me and tried to break in. I start to breathe heavily again as I realize where I might be. Brian got me when I was trying to run and hide. He just fucking attacked me. I look around. I'm in a small room, what looks like a living room of some kind. There's a couch on the right of the wall, the clock on the left ticking away. There's window 2 and along
The wind blow. Oh, okay, never mind.
no. Yeah, that's probably a typo. There's windows
Yeah.
2 and along with the ticking, the wind blowing outside is the only sound that I can hear. Looking down towards my legs, I can see that what looks like a tiny kitchen with some cupboards and a countertop. Dishes and junk are piled high along the length of the counter, and it smells like cigarette smoke. Judging by the layout and the size of the place, it looks like I'm in a trailer home. Small moan of terror escapes my lips. I'm in Brian's house. I remember Kid telling me that he lived in one. Tears start leaking out of my eyes again, even though I'm crying. The crying is making my head throb all over again. I think about what he was doing to Clint. No, I have to calm down. I don't want to attract any attention if he's actually nearby. After what happened at the diner, the cops have to be on their way. If there aren't any already. People eat in the diner all the time. One of my friends probably would find it to call someone. Just have to wait until they find me. Swallow again, feeling my body break out into a cold sweat all over again. What's going on? They wanted something from us, I remember that at least. But what? Duke had been saying something about seeing things and we might be responsible. I squeeze my eyes shut and shake my head, but I immediately stop when my head throbs from the movement. None of this makes any sense at all. Am I still dreaming? At that moment, I hear soft mumbling in the distance, though. Through the thin walls of the trailer, I freeze and hold my breath. It's a little ways off, but I'm positive that it's Duke. The high, weaselly whine mixed with the occasional smoker's cough is unmistakable. It's coming closer, and I can start to make out what he's saying. Because we're already fucked here. You think we could just let them go and it'd all be fine? I don't know what he's talking about. But the sound of an accompanying heavy lumbering step gives me an idea. It's worth it though. You'll figure out what the fuck is going on. Sounds like they're right up against the trailer now. You can hear them walking around towards the small door on the right side of the kitchen. They ain't saying shit yet, but I think it might be the otter. He's the one I'd seen last week. Last week? Oh wait, might have been in a vision? I'm wondering if it's fuck is it even
Remember?
yeah.
He said he's been seeing things. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's seen Chase before he even got there.
The footsteps stop in front of the door and I listen hard, my heart pounding in my chest. And I'll be right back in a little bit because I just got a message from my mother. She got some packages, so I'm gonna bring them in.
Alrighty.
Give me a sec.
Oh.
Oh.
In the meantime, I guess we will entertain. Yes, things are really messed up right now.
Well, yeah. I do have a question on the option where you have to run. Like, is there only one right option there, or can like?
I will be honest with you. I think there's the only one right option. I think Chase kind of ends up getting in the way of gunfire because he's waving that gun around, shooting at this thing you can't see.
Yeah.
It's almost like he would have gotten shot. And that would have been a bad end.
Yeah, well, yes.
It seemed more logical to try to get through the.
No, I wanted to see what was in the kitchen anyway.
Yeah. we know what was in the kitchen before we saw what was in the kitchen.
Even if you don't quite, well, I don't quite know who it was, but
the thing is that I've played the entirety of Echo. I have an idea it's a side character that may have gotten hacked to pieces, but at the same time, I'm hoping I am not correct.
I don't know.
Because that person doesn't really deserve that type of end, to be quite honest.
I see.
I don't know, maybe Jen has had a fight with her cook or something and she kind of just lost it. But once again, when they were talking about, like, what was it? Gang, like, how did she describe the meat? Like,
stringy or something like that,
Yeah, something like that. It reminded me of one other character that works at the diner, but they don't appear in the visual the routes unless you're doing the second to last route, which is TJ's route.
I see.
So once again, I'm hoping hopefully he would have that day off, and this person that is a slop is not that. Welcome back.
Left my phone
I think don't know that he's quite back yet.
Not just yet.
So, while I was getting those packages, I had time to process the very, very different direction this story was going.
I told you that every route has a different horror element / genre. This one is the more.
That's cool. I was unaware of that.
People horror.
Horror.
Well,
people being horrific.
When you say people horror, I'm trying to think of movies where, like, that reflect on the worst parts of humanity.
Every serial killer movie.
Like a slasher flick?
Yeah. The whole kidnapping and all that.
Yeah. Alright. God, it's JoJo Part 3 all over again. Okay, the footsteps stop in front of the door and I listen hard, my heart pounding in my chest. I hope you haven't done anything to him. I didn't. Brian's uncharacteristically high-pitched voice sends a chill up my spine, my fur flaring out with it. Bet your ass you haven't. If you do any real fucked up shit to him. I stop breathing, staring at my terrified expression in the mirror. What I'm saying is, we still got a chance to get out of this. What we've done is bad enough, but if we can get them to understand. They stop talking, and that's when I can hear Brian's heavy, labored breathing. I'm not breathing at all, worried that they'll be able to hear if they already know I'm here. I let it out a gasp as the door suddenly swings open and Duke comes and steps looking around before spotting me. Brian, you are one sick fuck. I tense up as a massive shadow appears behind him, and it appears like the entire trailer tips a bit as Brian makes his way up the same steps. Brian's presence is so imposing and frightening that I don't even notice that Duke is right next to me. I jump when he sits his hand on my left arm. I jerk my head and look at him wide-eyed. Hey, calm down, we ain't gonna hurt ya. Brian chuckles and Duke shoots him back a look. He turns his attention back to me, softening his expression, or at least as much as he can with his scraggly, drug-fucked face. I like these words.
God.
We just need to get some information from you. My mouth to speak, but all that comes out is a dry squeak. Brian chuckles again and makes his way to stand to my right. I cringe away from him and his stench of old sweat as he grins down at me with his yellow teeth. Brian, get some fucking water. And looks at Duke with a strange face before turning back to the kitchen. Hey, don't worry about him. I know this thing. Duke taps one of the boards with a finger. Looks bad, but we gotta hold you here for a bit. He's a queer, he likes it. Duke glares at him as Brian comes back from the kitchen with a ceramic mug. You're a queer too. Brian visibly bristles his face, loses any of the sick humor it once had. Duke clears his throat. Things have been happening here, and we want to find out why. What? Duke froze his brows like a kid trying to figure something out. You see, people ain't rotting ahead here. Yeah, we've noticed. No shit. Duke seems to immediately read my thought process because he holds up his hands and shakes his head. Yeah, I know. What we're doing ain't exactly rotting ahead either. Brian gives his dumb chuckle again, but I keep my face averted from him, partly because I can't really stand the smell. But we're all a little fucked up here. What I'm talking about is something else, like what you saw with Janice. I shift a little as I remembered about what happened in the diner. Is she dead? Duke looks genuinely sad. I don't know. It's a damn shame. But you saw the way she came at me. That's the shit I'm talking about. I look at the weasel's waistband and immediately see the handgun tucked into his pants there. Figured that'd be a detail. Oh well, whatever. And I was hoping to stop before any of this happened, but now everything's gone to shit. Brian finishes for him, and I can feel him move closer to the platform I'm lying on. Again, I avoid eye contact, not wanting to provoke him in any way. Yep, and it's only gonna get worse. Duke just looks at me like that's all the information that I need. I don't know what you're talking about. I see a twitch of irration in Duke's face and hold my breath. Oh, irritation. All right, I'm reading too fast.
He wants to get through it as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Just close your eyes. It'll be fine.
I mean, what's happening out there? Duke shakes his head. What's happening everywhere? It wasn't just Janice that lost her mind. Duke looks back at the window, suddenly his fur standing on end. I look too, but all I see are leaves and branches, the late afternoon sun filtering through them. Duke's quiet for a while before he starts speaking again without turning around. It happened to my granddaddy, my daddy. Now it's happening to me. Close my eyes, wondering if Duke is as crazy as Janice was. If he does, I doubt he even has a clue what he's doing right now. Dale's missing. Cynthia drove off into the desert. Duke turns around and looks back at me.
We don't meet in this line.
We saw your cat friend running down the street the way here, saying someone is after him. TJ? Thing is, we've all got something after us. Something bad. Won't let you leave when it starts. What's after you? I flinch as Brian speaks just above me, leaning down towards my face. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Bullshit! I flinch as Duke's concerned demeanor immediately drops away. Why do you think we came to get Leo and you? He pauses, like I should actually know the answer. I feel myself starting to panic again, and these two crazy hillbillies looming over my body. I don't know what. Duke slaps me and I gasp in shock. I saw you hanging around this fucking town before you even got here. Late at night, lurking around. I'm still cringing from the slap, and I keep my eyes closed as if not seeing any of this is going to make it stop. And then once all your friends get here, all hell breaks loose. You think that's a fucking coincidence? It's quiet for a moment and all I can hear is the rush of blood in my ears. Is this really happening? I feel Duke touch my arm again and I flinch in fear. Hey. I feel like he wants me to look at him slowly, and so I slowly open my eyes, tears spilling out as I do. Blurry shape of Duke dances in front of me. I'm not saying you did it, or what you wanted, or that you wanted it to happen. I don't say anything because I don't know what he's talking about, but I know I can't tell him that. It's just, you gotta know something. Anything so that we can stop this. Duke starts to pet my arm and I shiver. Brian is breathing heavily next to me and I glance at him. His expression is more interested now, almost eager. Duke still hasn't answered my question. It makes no sense that they'd go so far as to kidnap us. But why? Why didn't he just ask us? Why all of this? I left my hands weakly, making the platform rattle. Duke's face darkens. Because I've been asking Leo all week what the fuck you guys are doing and why he wouldn't say shit. Duke stops petting my arm and scratches behind his head. And, something. Someone told me that you would know. I stare at him. Who? Someone I know. And it makes sense. Something bad happens, and if you don't fix it, it won't stop coming after you. Shut my eyes and almost sob. Says they know. And I thought it had to be Leo or you, considering what we've been seeing these past few weeks. Duke pauses. Or maybe one of your other friends? My mind briefly flashes to TJ. I don't know what you're talking about. Wait for another slap, but it doesn't come. Open my eyes again, and Duke is looking back out the window. We're kind of protecting you, too. I stare at the back of his head. Things are getting worse out there, and if we don't figure out soon, we're all gonna die. Duke's voice is dead and distant. Brian, though, touches my other arm, and I guess shrinking away. He's smirking down at me, looking at my stomach or crotch, somewhere around there. Brian, stop! Duke is turned back around, looking over me at the bear. We're not getting anywhere right now, and I gotta get back to the wolf. Even though Duke is the one that hit me, I'm terrified the thought of being left alone with Brian. Duke sees my face. Don't worry, Chase. Even though you're lying to us, I don't plan to let this pervert have his way with you. Brian snorts. Brian knows what will happen if he does. Duke gives Brian a cold, callous stare, and this is the first time Brian didn't give back his stupid grin. But you better hope your fuck buddy says something soon, because if not, we might have to get mean. Duke heads for the door, turning to look over his shoulder. Let's feed him and make sure he doesn't escape. That's it. And with that, Duke briskly disappears out the door, a golden flash of afternoon light lighting up the dim trailer. So I just had a funny thought right now. What if Brian can actually cook? I'm not saying 5-star, but what if he makes food that's better than whatever the fuck Leo's making?
God.
Not a hard bar
I
to make.
think he's only cooking one thing in this household.
God. That's fucking good.
Lord.
Brian and I listen to the wheel's soft, anxious footsteps recede into the distance. As soon as the sound is gone, Brian stands up. I turn my head in time to see him roll around and smash his fist into the wall. And jump as much as I can in my restraints before he does it again, this time slamming both his fists against the wall. Oh boy. Oh, he has internalized homophobia. He screams so loudly my ears immediately start ringing. I think he's talking to me, so I brace myself for what I'm sure is going to be the worst moment of my life. But he stalks right past me, not even looking at me. Instead, he starts up to the kitchen counter. Once there, he picks up a dirty pan and raises it over his head, banging down with a crash. I hear glass shatter before he does it again and again. Oh boy. He throws the pan across the room to crash into the wall. Is he talking about Duke?
Yeah.
Okay. I stare at him with my eyes wide as I watch him stamp his feet like a little kid. Then he slaps himself across the face twice. After that, he closes his hand into a fist and punches himself in the head repeatedly. It's with a force that would knock me out cold. It might be funny if I wasn't tied down on a contraption in a trailer belonging to Brian. Brian stumbles after what seems to be like the 5th blow and covers his face. His massive shoulders shake with sobs. Oh. Ooh. Brian whirls around and slams both fists into the counter several more times. Sound shifting glass accompanying it. His voice crescendos in pitch and volume before finally slumps against the counter, head in his hands, and he starts crying again. I breathe as quietly as I can, not wanting to draw any attention to myself. I wonder if whatever's... Because they all see you've seen it, and it's apparently taking forms? But no, but Leo... It's always Chase.
I think it's always Chase. Yeah, they always.
Yeah.
See.
But then remember, Duke said there's something after all of us. So
Yeah.
I think it's a manifestation of their deepest fear.
Suddenly his cracking shoulders freeze. Slowly he turns with a sinking heart. I realize he's looking right at me. The fur on his cheeks already matted before, and a flat and shiny with wet. The snot runs his nose down to his upper lip. I see red dripping from his left fist. The fur on his right is matted with blood as well. Watches me for a while, then grins. Am I funny to you? I open my mouth, but nothing comes out. He suddenly strides right up to the end of the platform, standing between... Oh, okay. Feel numb. I hear the heartbeat, the fear taking up every fiber of my being. Feel nothing else. Waxing him make fun of me. Try to speak again, but still nothing comes out. I swallow. No. Lips tremble and my voice shakes. I've never said it so hard in my life. You know what I'd do to you if I could. Brian stares down at me. Oh boy, am I gonna be able to read this?
Probably
Oh
not.
god. Oh, this just sounds like just crazy meth head rambling.
Yeah. Nothing happens.
Yeah, oh, I figured nothing would happen. Oh, okay. Something kinda happening.
Kinda. But, it's...
Please. Brian's grin only gets bigger and he rubs his crotch with the other. Oh god. And then hang you for hours. So basically what he did to Clint.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me wonder if Clint was like a subject of theirs, if they were using him to try to get an understanding of what the hell was going on.
I don't think so. I think Brian's just a sick fuck.
Probably. Well, no, I'm saying that's probably the reason why he was there in the first place. But then Kudzo mentioned that he sells the meth, so yeah, no, Brian probably is a sick fuck, and Clint was just probably going through with it for the meth. Hard from my nose, tears leaking down the sides of my face. His hand slides down from my mouth to my neck, and he starts to squeeze. Give me a little stool to stand. Oh god. Gasp and gag, both the squeezing and from his reeking breath. He stares hard at me, and I can feel his crotch grinding up against mine. He's hard. And he blinks and slowly pulls back. Watches me gasp for a while and sob for a while before reaching down again. Have you never seen Sin City, Chase? Have either of you two seen Sin City?
Nope.
It's an anthology movie. It's 3 stories that are somewhat connected. One of them is a old cop who stopped a child predator. But that child predator was the son of like the mayor of the city or something. And he fucked him up, but they did all sorts of experimental surgeries to keep him like alive and functional. So now he's like yellow, and apparently his blood smells awful. But he wants to kill the cop and recreate the crime. So he does end up kidnapping the girl he originally tried to assault. Though she's a woman now. But the cop tells her, whatever you do, don't scream. And she figures out it's because that's the only way he could get hard. So he starts torturing her, but she's not budging. Well, he's whipping her. He has her tied up and he's whipping her, and she's not gonna say anything. And Brian gives me that vibe.
Yeah.
But he doesn't grab my neck again. Instead, oh god. The skin on my neck. Not bruised. Expression darkens again. No, I won't, I swear. Eyeing his fist. He holds it there while watching me. He seems to be calculating something, like he's wondering if he can get away with what he's about to do. Seems to make up his mind. God. Then he slams his fist down right into the center of my torso, just below the ribs. My vision flashes and I hear a rasping, droning wheeze that I realize is coming from my mouth. It goes on until there's no air left in me, and then I can't breathe again. My vision goes, oh no, here we go again. Another dream. My vision goes black as I suffocate, writhing against the restraints, wanting to curl up into a little ball and disappear. It feels like hours, days before I finally get a sip of air. My mouth gapes as I try to suck it in faster. Brian is standing over me, and I'm somehow surprised that he's got a worried look on his face. He probably thinks he's killed me. But then my stomach starts to turn and lurch. Before I even realize I'm about to puke, a gush of vomit fills my mouth, and I start to choke. Shit. Brian hurries to my side as if I'm giving a second heave mixed with a gag. He tips the platform sideways. His huge paws pushes my face to the side to look at the ground, and I watch as it spills to the ugly shag carpet. When I finish, Brian slowly tilts the table back, looking at me with disgust. At this point, I'm too tired to cry. Instead, I lay there, dazed, occasionally hacking or coughing. Brian goes to the kitchen, rustling around while returning with water and paper towels. So, I've thrown up on an empty stomach. It's not nice. I mean, throwing up in general isn't nice, but like
No.
throwing up on an empty stomach really fucking hurts.
It just burns. It's just acid.
It's just the acid, yeah.
Yeah.
He wipes my face and nose before hitting my head to drink the water. Rinse and spit. He holds the mug there, and I do what I say. Then he gets down on his knees. I watch his head bob up and down as he busies himself with the mess on the floor, muttering about Duke finding out. I'm too numb to really care right now, though. And now I'm starting to realize that I might not survive this. Brian calms down quick after his tantrum. Once he cleans up the mess, he splays out on the couch and starts watching TV. Some kind of cartoon about a pink cat, and he actually laughs along with the juvenile jokes. While this goes on, I lie quietly on my platform, trying not to start crying again. My mind keeps wandering back just hours ago, how everything seemed fine for the most part. I just keep wishing I could go back to the beginning of this week. Thinking about that makes me sentimental, and I'm longing to see Leo, TJ, Carl, Jenna, and even Flynn again. God, and
Situation's
then
better than
hold
now.
on, yeah, no, where are they all right now? So what was I gonna say? So you telling me that each path encompasses some aspect of horror?
Yes.
God, that's it just makes me feel a bit more depressed. Because I think this is like the worst that Chase has gone through so far, but it's just like, fuck, what do the other paths have in store?
I guess you have to
Well,
read it
guess
right
we'll start
now.
to find out.
Yeah.
Where are they all right now? Duke said things that were bad out there. Are they all in some sort of trouble? If that's the case, the cops could be here by now. Someone would have gotten word out, wouldn't they? People were murdering each other, like what happened to Janice. There's no way that wouldn't be the case. And lets out another explosive laugh, wiggling his feet on the armrest of the couch. Earlier, he tried to feed me some dried cereal, but it was like cardboard in my mouth, and only after a handful I couldn't eat anymore. I was just thankful he's preoccupied with something else right now. There's a soft knock at the door, and Brian jumps, quickly changing the channel to golf before he gets up and lumbers to the door. He pauses and rifles through some magazines on the small table next to his crotch. Pulls out a handgun that looks cartoonishly small in his hands before making his way to the door.
Here's a massive bear.
I weakly turn my head in his direction and watch Brian open the door a crack. He chuckles. Well, it's going to shit and you're still coming here for more, eh? Brian pushes up the door open a bit more, and I catch sight of a skinny, malnourished polecat. Oh my god, it's Clint!
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
I'm kind of relieved he's not dead. But
But he was the meat pile in the back. No.
Now, who the fuck was that in the kitchen?
long story short, I believe it may be a side character from a different route, but it might have been like a random NPC. Well, yeah,
All right.
NPC that used to be a cook or something in the back there.
Jesus. Then is looking up at Brian, appearing even more disheveled than usual. So, are we doing Clint? Had stepped up onto the first step and looked into the train, immediately spotting me. He stares, the shock on his face almost comical. Brian turns to see what he's looking at, as if he'd forgotten that I was even there. He gives us he gives a start before shoving Clint back out the door. I'm full today. Already got someone taking your spot. Clint's now out of my line of sight, but I hear him shuffling around in the dead vegetation. Please, I could really use him right now. We can do it outside. Wait, does he want meth or?
He wants, but his way of paying for it is.
I'm just wondering if he's that touch starved. Maybe it could be. Look, I just want to get high off meth, and I want you to touch me.
I think it's just the meth.
I think it's just the meth
It's
too.
just the
Now,
meth.
now that I'm thinking more about it, considering what people will do for drugs. The moment of silence as Brian seems to contemplate that. No, I've got some business to take care of. Tomorrow, maybe. Clint starts to whine again, but Brian swings the door shut with a bang. Fucking dopehead. Brian walks back into the room, looking down at me, then back at the TV. Probably shouldn't have. Oh, yeah. Anyway, probably shouldn't have let him see you, though. He mumbles before sitting back down and switching the channel back to the cartoon. I stare up at my reflection. Even from here, I can see that my eyes are bloodshot, the fur on my face matted. There are dark spots. What the hell's going on here? Leo does it with enjoyment. Clint does it with desperation. There are dark spots on my shirt too, and I distantly wonder if Brian had broken ribs when he punched me. Then I remember that his hand had been bleeding when he did that. I feel strange right now. Numb. Feels kind of good after the whirlwind of emotions I had earlier. I haven't caught up with everything that's happened since I was in that diner. Will I ever be able to?
Whiplash, Jesus.
What was that?
The emotional whiplash of all the things that happened in one single evening.
Right? God, that was a fucking roller coaster watching Leo go from rapturous joy to, oh God, I fucked up.
We went from 0 to 60 real quick.
Wow. Will I ever be able to? Would I have time if Brian planned to? Then your panic pierces through my fog of disassociation, and I clench my eyes shut, screwing up my face as I try not to start crying again. Excuse me. Brian snorts again at something on the TV. Open my eyes. The distraught otter laying on the wooden torture contraption. Why is there a mirror on your ceiling? I surprised myself a little by asking the question. Apparently, I really don't give a fuck at this point. I see Brian look over at me from my peripheral vision. Really want to know? I shrug the best I can, continue to stare passively up the ceiling. Movement sends electric tingles through my arms, which are completely numb at this point. Well? And shifts around the couch as he tries to get a better look at me. When I has my fun, I likes them to see what I'm doing. I stare at the mirror, my expression's still blank. I mean, it's not just about what I'm feeling. What they're feeling is important too. Fear. That's what Brian likes. I could choke you all you want, cut you all at once, and when I do that, you're not thinking about what's actually happening. Brian shifts into a sitting position, no more interested in our conversation than his cartoons. I realize now I've probably made a mistake. Wanna see? Keep my face blank, staring at myself. Don't say anything. Brian gets up anyway and comes around to stand over me, above my head, blocking my view of the mirror. A freaking stench fills my nostrils, but still, try not to give him the satisfaction of seeing how afraid I am starting to become. His massive hands reach out around my head and start to fiddle with something I can't see. One quick motion, the strap comes back down over my neck and my eyes widen. Grit my teeth and try to press my head as hard as I can to the platform behind my bed to lessen the strain. Not a lot of a pressure, but it's enough to make me want to gag. Chuckles again. See, you're probably only thinking about how it's hard to breathe right now, trying to figure out how to make it stop, but... Brian leans back, revealing the terror-stricken otter in the ceiling, his eyes bulging, teeth bared. Now you see what's happening to you. Your brain telling you, yeah, this is really fucking happening. The leather squeaks a little as he pulls it down tighter. I start to writhe at this point, and I can see my tongue sticking out of my face, a mask of horror. I feel more, and that's what I like. Brian comes back into my vision, his expression different. He's really searching my face now, like he's looking for something. Maybe you like it too. Finally, with the final squeak of the leather, Brian lets go and I gasp hungrily for air. Brian pets my head while I cough, inhaling shakingly. Don't exaggerate. That wasn't nothing. He moves away again and slumps back into the couch, pulling at his crotch. But a Clint gets it way worse. I choose not to stare at the choking otter on the ceiling and instead look out the window, feeling fresh tears roll down my face. I'm not sure if it's from the choking or the black hole in my chest. I watch the leaves rustling around in the wind and think about where the others are. Damn it, fucking sensitive mouse. Where the others are, why no one's come to help me. Finally, I turn my head back to the ceiling. The blank expression has returned. Ryan continues to chuckle at his cartoons, and despite myself, I ask another question. Have you ever killed someone? The first time Brian ignores me. I don't say anything for the rest of the day. Here at the darkness, only the faint source of light coming in from the moonlit leaves through the window. It's been less than 24 hours since I'd been kidnapped. Still, it makes no sense that someone hasn't found me. It was Duke that said, is what Duke said about the town true? I wonder what Leo's doing right now. If he's going through is bad. I doubt it is. At least Duke seemed slightly less unhinged. I give a soft trembling sigh, my head still throbbing from the day's events. The thunderous snoring from Brian is literally shaking the platform I'm on, and though I drifted off a few times, I can't sleep. He's right next to me, his stained couch apparently doubling as a bed. I shift around on the contraption for what feels like the 100th time, trying to get comfortable when I feel something. There's more give in my right arm than I remember. In fact, it's incredibly loose. I pause, then experimentally wiggle my arm around before easily pulling my hand out from the restraint. I freeze, disbelieving, not wanting to believe in case this isn't true somehow. Painfully, I crane my neck to look at my right arm. Though it's dark, I can see my arm is clearly free, my elbow on board, hand in the air. I swallow hard, listening for Brian snores again to make sure he's actually asleep. I try to keep my breathing even, not wanting to make any more sound than I need to, but I'm almost sobbing with relief at this point. Now I'm able to partially sit up and make short work of my left arm restraint. Fully sitting up now, I do await the final 2 ankle restraints and slide off the table quietly. Boy, howdy. This is too much emotion to process. Brian is still snoring at full volume, and it covers up what little sound I make. Making my way over the messy floor, I find the steps and try not to stumble down them to open the door. Incredibly, there's no squeaking or rattling as I do, and before I know it, I'm outside in the cool air. Run through the woods and through the road, sobbing with joy as now I see Leo's house.
It's a dream.
The lights are on as if I'm running towards it. I think I even see Carl's horns through the window. I run up to the steps of the porch, banging on the door. Carl, I got out, open the door. I tried the handle and it opened, swinging inward to blackness. Oh no. Am I gonna get voice mod blocked again?
I don't know. I'm not certain.
I stare, trying to comprehend. You really fell for that? I hear my own voice, but it isn't me that said it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, instead of higher pitched, like it hearing it from a video recording rather than my own throat. Then I'm sucked into the blackness and slammed hard back down into a wooden platform. Another
Yeah.
dream. Once I realize what happened and my heart feels like it drops through my chest. Of course, a dream. Back in the hot, stifling trailer and looks even darker than it did in my dream. Close my eyes and start to cry quietly. It feels like I've just found out that I'm locked up in a psycho's trailer all over again. Turn my head and look out the window above Brian. Oh, but remember the last time we had like a dream where we ran? Is there gonna be leaves and shit on his feet again?
I have no idea.
I turn my head and look out the window above Brian, longing for some daylight, and then I see two white eyes set against a black face staring back in at me. I jump. The fuck? Am I still dreaming? Then I see two
I'm surprised
beige-colored
that's not
ears above the head.
in
Kudzu?
the image behind
I
us.
gasp again, quieter. I'm overcome with relief once again, but I fear that I'm still dreaming that I'm still dreaming. Oh, what? That I'm still dreaming is almost overpowering it. I wave my left hand as much as I can, but I'm not sure he can see it. I realize that none of the light from the window is falling on me. It moves to the side, then again squinting, clearly trying to see inside. I think I'm making I think about making a noise calling out his name, but I have no idea how deep of a sleeper Brian is. If on cue, Brian gives out a loud snore and rolls over. Seems to have heard it. His big ears perking before he ducks down. My heart hurts just losing sight of him, and I strain at my bonds. Brian seems to be waking up though, mumbling something in his sleep. No, you're dead. Oh shit, he's having a bad dream now. I pull with my
right arm again in case my dream had been.
Gordon.
Gordon,
Gordon, that was
What's
rather
going on?
inappropriate. Your voice mod's on.
voice mod is on.
Oh,
There we go. There we go. Accidentally touched the one of the buttons. That was one of
That
the
was
robot
kinda funny.
voices, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I pull my right arm again in case my dream had been something. It doesn't budge. Fucking cunt. You can tell how exhausted I am that I actually said it this time.
Yeah.
You didn't acknowledge it. You're just like,
Ugh. Brian's really starting to kick around now. His massive form rolling onto his stomach, rubbing his face into the pillow. He starts to make loud gasping sounds and he gets to his knees on the bed. Back off. He holds his hands up snarling. You're dead. You're dead. I start him almost forgetting about Kudzu. His eyes are open and they snap to me, his hands still out. No. No. His face is etched with horror, eyes wide and white in the darkness. He backs up again against the back of the couch as he continues to stare. I stare back at him, unsure of what he's going to do. After about 10 seconds, his expression starts to melt from horror to confusion. Continue to stare back, bracing for another explosion from him for whatever reason. His shoulders droop again and he frowns at me. Did you see her? My mouth is dry, so I have to swallow a few times before I can answer. Oh. Brian doesn't respond and starts to look around the trailer. I see Kuzu starting to poke his head up again. At this point, I've made up my mind that I want to escape tonight. I'm not going to spend another minute with this maniac. Making a decision that could mean life or death is so suddenly terrifying and exhilarating. I'm going to save here. Yeah, I'll save right here. Just because I'm afraid I'm going to be hit with another question. Even though I'm just going to ask Matt and be like, okay, what am I doing here?
Choose for me. Oh, by the way, the last choice you're going to make, I'm leaving it to you.
Ah, fuck.
That
Yeah.
choice is truly life or death.
All right.
It's only fair.
Is it coming up?
It's soon. Not
Alright.
too soon, though.
A decision that would mean life or death is something terrifying. I don't give myself time to think about it. Brian? He doesn't answer, starting to get up and look around. Brian, I have to go to the bathroom. Brian sighs as he flips on the light. It jumps out of view again. Brian heaves a huge sigh before turning to the counter. He reaches for a pan and dumps out the murky water into the sink. I wrinkle my nose. He shrugs at me. What? This'll do? No, I have to use your toilet. My stomach is feeling really bad right now. Brian turns and really looks at me. Like, what? You got a puke? I shipped on the platform. No, I think I have diarrhea. I impose a look of extreme disgust, which is kind of funny for someone who apparently never showers. Oh, come on. He glares at me like it's my fault that I might be sick. He looks around while back down at the pan. The bear seems to quickly disregard that idea and sets it back down on the counter. He comes over. I'm not going to acknowledge that. He comes over next to me and starts to undo the restraints. You try anything. No, I promise. I just really need to go. Brian grumbles as he starts to roughly undo my restraints. I take care not to look at his crotch as it's pressed uncomfortably close to my face. As he pulls my right arm out, I gasp in shock and pain. It feels like a million needles are poking through as if he pushes my arm down next to my body. Wait, fuck. Brian pauses as he watches me grimace in pain, and I worry he's getting off on it. That moment, though, there's something rustling next to the window, and I try to groan over it. Oh, fuck. The bear looks at me bewildered and annoyed. What? Now my dream seems even more ridiculous. That been so easy to run off. Everything's fallen asleep. Let's take it slower. Brian sighs even louder and gets to work on my left arm leg right away. This time he doesn't yank my arm out though, and me slowly move it on my own. It's not nearly as bad as my right arm, which is still violently tingling, but I have to grit my teeth as I move move it onto my chest. Luckily, my legs are fine, and I'm able to move them easily after Brian takes them out. It makes me worry that I'm going to try since wait. It makes me worry about what I'm going to try since I'm not nearly as strong as I could be. Brian clearly on guard as he helps me sit up from the contraption, keeping his distance as he holds onto my arm. I sit there a moment, letting the circulation return back to my limbs as I try not to fall over from the dizziness. Brian finally gives a growl of annoyance and pulls me off the wooden platform. Whoa, what the fuck's going on? I realize at this move I have to make my move. There's nothing nearby for me to grab, so instead I swing everything I have and smash my fist up against Brian's face. Something cracks in my hand and pain runs up my arm. I gasp and cringe and Brian grunts. Brian pauses slowly, brings his hand up to feel the side of his face. I guess I'd hoped that I would be able to knock him out with one punch.
Honey, now that ain't gonna work.
Yeah, but doing that as an honor to a bear, especially a bear like Brian, would have been quite the feat. Brian does seem stunned though, and that's all I need to take a huge breath and scream as loud as I can. Kutsu! Brian rolls on me, swinging his first along with him. I duck immediately, covering my head with one arm, with the other still locked in Brian's grasp. He only partially misses, his first catching to the top of my head and my arm. It knocks me to the ground and I sit there in a daze. I don't have long to collect myself because Brian is pulling a foot back to kick me. Shut up! I roll to the side and start trying to back away. I'm crouched, but Brian yanks me up by my arm, my head jerking with the force. Now I'm starting to wonder if Kudzu ended up leaving. If that's the case, then I'm definitely dead because there's no way I'm gonna break his grasp. As I'm thinking this, the door bangs open. Brian is in the middle of drawing his fist back when it happens and he freezes looking over at the door. Kudzu stands there, his eyes wide behind his black mask, chest heaving. He's scared, I can tell, but Brian's shot gives him an opening I was looking for. I reach between his legs and grab his balls. Weirdly enough, this is the first thought I have is about how fucking big it is. It takes both, Jesus!
Wow.
To wrap around it fully, and when I do, I twist and yank down as hard as I can, pour all my fear and anger into the attack, snarling as I do. The scream that Brian lets out is high-pitched. I feel like every glass in the trailer is going to explode. This attack is all I have left, so when his retaliation comes, I don't do anything to defend myself. Luckily, it's not a punch or kick, but rather he grabs the fur on the back of my head along with my shirt and tries pulling me back. My fist stretches back as I stubbornly hold on to just yank down even harder.
I can literally imagine the cat. Have you seen cats being like pulled from their necks?
Oh
and
yeah,
they're
yeah.
Yeah.
When you stroke them really hard and their eyes.
Yeah.
His sack is stretched and distorted so badly it's barely even recognizable as balls.
Jesus.
The screaming suddenly cuts off with the sound of a deep, sickening smack. Did he get the frying pan? Immediately, Brian's body crumbles onto me as he falls to his hands and knees. It happened in a way that he's splayed over me, his face inches from mine. I have time to smell his gag-induced breath before the sound happens again. This time I see Kudzu swinging something down hard from overhead, and Brian's head jolts. I watch as his eyes lose their focus on me, and he slumps down. I turn my head sideways as he comes to the rest of my body, crushing the air out of my lungs. Kudzu is there immediately and pushes Brian's body aside to the point of being able to pull me out. He pulls me into a sitting position next to him. Are you okay?
Okay.
He's shaking, and I can hear his ragged breath in my ear. The contrast between being engulfed in Brian's stench to smelling Kudzu's shampooed fur and peppermint breath is striking. I can't speak. Instead, I lean against Kudzu and wrap my arms around him as I sob. Kudzu holds me as he looks me over.
Can you walk?
I nod silently as I press my face into the fur on his shoulder.
All right, come on. We can't stay here.
He stands below, keeping me in the embrace as he guides me towards the door. I don't remember much about the walk back to Kudzu's house, aside from stilted flashes of dirt and sagebrush. It's dark and hot. My shirt immediately starts to stick to my sweaty fur. My legs are so numb that I don't even know if I'm moving them. Kudzu has to hold me the entire way so I don't fall over. Crickets chirp all around us, but every few minutes, I hear shoutings and screams in the distance. I try to look over my shoulder and see if Brian is coming after us, but Kudzu grunts and tells me to keep watching my steps. Some circulation has returned to my legs, and I'm able to at least match Kudzu's stride over the uneven dirt road.
Yeah.
Still, it feels like 1,000 needles are stabbing up my feet and legs in waves with every step I take. I'm generally afraid that I'm not going to wake up any second and find myself still. Although I'm going to wake up any second, still find myself still stuck in Brian's trailer. None of this seems real. I'm still watching my feet and the ground, so I don't notice Kudzu's house until I almost kick the bottom step of his rusty trailer. Just the side of the trailer is sending chills up my spine, even though Brian's trailer looks very different compared to Kudzu's. We stand in the front of the door for a while as the raccoon fishes through his pockets for his keys. It's made extra difficult with me hanging from him. I can stand on my own if you got it. Kudzu whips out a small gold-colored key, sliding into the lock. Once we're inside, Kudzu immediately kicks the door closed behind us, while reaching back to turn the deadlock. Oh God!
Oh, nicer atmosphere.
This is not. This was not the relieving music I was hoping to hear, but it'll do. Okay, I was very tense throughout that entire section. I need to stretch a little. Oh my God!
That's fair enough.
Alright, the inside of Kudzu's trailer is the opposite of its exterior. It's brightly lit and tidy, nothing like Brian's place. A little cramped as any trailer would be, but the furniture is arranged neatly and the kitchen is spotless. It looks way newer and the trailer is on the outside. Imagine the raccoon did a lot of work to get it to look like this. Kudzu quickly guides me to a small love seat and makes as if to lay me down. I put a hand against his chest, feeling my stomach. Wait, I think I'd rather sit up. Do you need anything?
Food or a drink?
Just looking into my eyes with dark browns. The brows above them are furrowed in deep concern. I nod slowly so as not to upset my stomach again. Just water, please.
Sure.
Kudzu quickly hurries off to the kitchen and I slowly lean into the cushions behind me. I'm not tired at all, but I feel numb, and not just physically. My arms throb and it feels like the leather straps are still bound around my wrist. It even feels like they're being pulled by an invisible force. Like if I relaxed, my arms would float back onto that fixed position. I shudder, hugging my body, then look around, trying to find something else to focus on. A grouping of 3 picture frames on the small side table next to the love seat catches my attention. From where I'm sitting, I can see Kudzu and one of them beaming at the camera. It's actually kind of weird seeing him smiling like that. There's an arm around his neck, and I start to lean over a bit to see who it is.
Here.
Kudzu appears in front of me again, holding out a glass of water. I straighten back up against the cushions. Once I take the glass, he holds out his other hand with 2 white pills resting in the black pad of his palm.
Acetaminophen if you're in pain.
I definitely am, so I take it and the glass without a word and swallow it down. For a second, my stomach sours, and I feel like it's gonna come back up, but only for a second. Kudzu steps back and watches me. Even though his face maintains its stoic, almost glare, I see his hands fidgeting together in front of his stomach. I nod weakly at the recliner across from me. Jesus Christ, it's been 3 hours. You want to sit or something? Kudzu seems to consider, then walks over to the recliner. He sits at the very edge of the cushion, back rigid, continuing to stare at me. I take another sip of water, less this time so as not to upset my stomach. It looks like he wants to say something but keeps silent, lips pressed together. Kudzu watches me the whole time. What's wrong? Opens his mouth and closes it, thinking before opening it again.
Are you okay?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, I'm not gonna die, I think. I'm not really sure if I'm completely okay. Everything still feels numb. My thoughts feel sluggish too, and something that's been nagging on the back of my mind since I got here suddenly bubbles up to the surface. Did you call the police? I accidentally reach my phone in my pocket, but it's not there. I have no idea where it is at this point. Was it still at Leo's house? There's a tight lock of consternation on Kudzo's face. Phones aren't working.
Phones aren't working. Even my landline isn't working.
Oh, fuck.
Jesus.
My foggy brain tries to process this. What? Why, did the phone lines break or something? Kudzo shakes his head.
I don't know.
Should we walk to my car? Something and drive to Peyton? I look back out the pitch black window. We need to tell someone right now. Janice, Janice, and Leo's still out there. There's no way Janice hasn't been found by now. There should be police everywhere. Where are the cops? Turns to Kudzo, feeling sick again. Kudzo doesn't say anything, and he's got a strange look on his face, like he's trying to figure out how to tell me something. Finally, he stands up.
I'll figure something out. Listen, I need you to get some rest.
I frown. I need to get someone out there. What if Brian comes after me? I shrink in on myself at the thought, feeling goosebumps erupt over my arms. Kudzo steps closer to me and awkwardly reaches out to put a hand on my shoulder.
You'll be fine. Do you want to lay down in my bed?
Don't say anything. I head for the small. My head's still trying to catch up.
It's a waterbed.
So adds as if that makes the offer more tempting. He thinks.
You hungry? I have some muffins. Might help you get to sleep.
I shake my head. What? No, I want to get the fuck out of here. Loud pop makes me jump and I stand up. I'm not sure what I'm about to do, but Kudzu reaches out to gently to hold onto me before pulling me away from the window. Finally, I can hear some shouting outside, but it's far away. What was that? Is someone shooting? Look at Kuzco starting to feel desperate. He puts an arm around me. I'm moving towards the end of the trailer where a big bed is tucked in.
I don't know. A lot of things are happening right now. So I think we should stay here to be safe, okay? For now, at least.
Hold on to the raccoon, unsure what to do.
Listen,
Lean by both arms and I look back at him.
you gotta trust me that we can't leave right now. I'll explain it all after you've rested for a bit.
He pauses.
I can tell you you're not really here right now.
Here right now?
You'll feel better once you wake up, alright?
Oh man. The thought of lying down is tempting despite feeling like I'm going insane. If I sleep, I don't have to think. Just collect my mind and rest. My head is buzzing, and I feel like laying down might straighten things out. Thought I heard something. Kitsu gently but firmly forces me to sit down on the bed. Despite his slender build, I can feel the strength in his lean muscles. But what about Brian and Duke? Kitsu slowly pushes me back down into the bed, the water underneath the surface slushing faintly. I haven't been in an actual waterbed for years. Carl used to have one. Where is Carl? Where is everyone? I want to go back to the motel and find my friends again, but Kudzu seems adamant on keeping me here.
I got Leo's gun. Saw it on the ground when I went to check on you guys. So he did carry. Oh no. Did Leo have that gun in the diner?
He did, and if he did, he would have pulled it out right then and there.
True.
Maybe he found it around the Brian's house.
Maybe.
He must have been able to tell from the look on my face that I'm not at ease because he reaches out again to rest a hand on my chest. Still awkward, but it's comforting at least.
I'll be here all night. Nothing's gonna happen.
Does make me feel better. At least well enough to maybe get some sleep. Okay. At the ceiling as I lay back. I still feel numb, but in a way that helps me blank my mind. In what feels like less than a minute, I pass out. I feel like I keep walking along the train track. Oh boy, here we go again.
Yeah, here we go. You might finally be able to use voice mode. Who knows?
Oh, I'm so exhausted now.
Emotional exhaustion.
It doesn't help that I.
Emotional damage.
It doesn't help that I also feel sick. Oh my God. I should probably try to go to the doctor soon. Be like, hey, I feel terrible. Like a doctor's note. I feel like if I keep walking along the train tracks, I'll be able to find a way out of here. I make sure to walk in the middle using the planks like stepping stones. Steel rails on either side of me feel like some sort of barrier or protection to whatever it is that's out there. I feel a presence in front of me, though, sort of pressure that builds as I continue to walk. Looking up, I can see that I'm coming from that weird grove of trees that bunch up around the train yard. Something is crouched in front of that grove, staring at me from the trees. I keep walking, though, because for some reason, I don't feel like I have anything to worry about as long as I stay on the tracks. But there's something else behind the hunched figure. A few bulky objects hang from the trees. I know what they are before I can make them out. I keep staring at them as I draw closer, ignoring the thing that's watching me as I do, hearing it breathe as I pass it. Now I can see that there are several bodies hanging from the trees. They're of all shapes and species. Some hang by their necks, others wrist or ankle. One of them passes me within a few feet, and I notice that it doesn't have legs, both of them cut off at the thigh. It's a wolf as he dangles by one of the stumps. Blood stains his dusty cream colored pants and shirt all the way up to his face. They pass him. He slowly turns on the rope as if he's following my progress. I look down at the corpse's face, the mouth hanging open, eyes wide. It looks like he wants to tell me something important. I can feel my body again, but it's numb, heavy. I never liked the color red. Slowly, I open my eyes and see the beige ceiling of Kutsu's trailer. I flick my eyes to the right, and I see Kutsu there, but only his back. He's frozen like he's in a photo. Not even breathing. I can see the window very well from here, but from the small corner I see eyes.
Yeah. The fade to black. Oh.
I wake up, Kutsu is next to me in bed, his back to me, one of his ears folded under his head. Having been with Leo for a few years, I know that can be pretty painful when you wake up. They reach out and try to slowly adjust Kutsu's ear from under his head, but he immediately wakes up. Makes a funny snorting sound before suddenly jerking up halfway off the bed, looking back at me. I smile sheepishly. Sorry, I was trying to fix your ear. He reaches up, poking at the ear. Oh. Ow. Thanks. I notice on the bedside table that there's a small plate with what looks like a blueberry muffin on it. definitely an upgrade from a TV dinner.
I wonder if he made it himself.
I would not be surprised. Hold on. The combination of just processing everything, the mild symptoms of sickness I'm feeling, and like my feet getting very cold. I have a pair of slippers, but only see one of them. I don't know where it's at. Where the other one's at. Kitsu notices and reaches out for it.
You want me? I ate a couple earlier myself. I didn't realize how hungry I was. He's blushing! Ah, I didn't
Is
notice
he?
how much he is!
Kind of, yeah, there's a hint of pink under the mask.
He's so cute.
That is pretty cute. He
It's
lowers his
amazing.
ears.
Short kings. Still one left though.
His stomach has settled. Oh, I need to show you the game. I think it's called Kings of Hell or Hell Kings. It's one of the two. Because that game has a Shark King, and I love his design. I'm just not because like his concept art and 3D render look great, but the sprites they used for him or the assets they used for him when like he's talking in like a menu or a cutscene, I don't like them. But I like the character a lot. My stomach has settled for the most part, so I take the plate from him. Thanks. It's dark outside from what I can see. Did we sleep through the whole day? I realize that I've completely lost track of time. What time is it? He reaches over to the bedside table, grabbing his phone.
2:30 in the morning.
I rub my face. Did we sleep through the day or something?
No, you were asleep for like 2 hours.
No.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Really? It felt like it had been days since what happened at Brian's trailer.
Yeah, I found you at around midnight.
The kid turns nimbly on his rear on the bed, facing me with his legs crossed.
How are you feeling?
I'm okay. Kitsu gives me a long, hard look. Again, he has that expression of wanting to say something, but he's holding back. What is it? Kitsu lets out a breath.
Listen, I'm not gonna ask what happened with Brian, but if you ever want to talk about it.
Talking about Brian is the last thing I want to do, and I can feel. Oh, sorry. I can feel the threat of violent shivers coming up my spine just thinking about him. Reaches out with his black hands to rub at my shoulder. Awkward and comforting as always.
I've been through some stuff myself.
He catches himself.
I'm not saying I know what you went through, but I know how it could feel having something really fucked up happen to you.
Alright, hold on.
Jeez. Keep yourself together, Gordon.
No. My feet are really cold right now, and I found the other slipper. Oh god. Oh, that's so much better. I feel a fever coming my way. These next few days are not gonna be fun. Ugh. I don't think I've ever seen Kutsu stumble over his own words like this.
I mean, I'm not trying to say that it's comparable if he,
Kutsu trails off, seemingly stunned at his own lack of delicacy. I've never heard this used. Delicate. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, no,
delicate.
I've never heard it. Usually I hear this word and think food. That's why I was confused for a second. Ugh. For the first time since I left the trailer, I feel a little bit like laughing. I reach up and rub Kutsu's own arm, feeling like I need to comfort him now. No, it's fine, man. He didn't do anything like that. At least not how you think he would. Kutsu watches me. No, he's not gonna ask, so I go on. He has a thing for asphyxiation, I guess.
oh jeez.
Kutsu's eyes immediately go to my neck. I'm fine, it was just creepy. He definitely doesn't begin to describe it, but I don't think now's the time to go into details. I look out the window again, and aside from a few orange dots of light from a faraway lamppost, it's black. But can you tell me what's going on now? Kutsu runs his hand through his head fur, sighing heavily and looking out the window with me.
Sure you don't want to wait until morning?
I really don't think I'm going to be able to fall asleep again, honestly. Kutsu continues to stare out the window, and Oh, that's what I really start to wonder. What if oh, what
But
it was that I missed.
so yesterday about noon is when I saw some weird stuff going on.
Kudzu looks at me.
Your friend TJ, he came kind of jogging up the road.
My mind flashes back to when I saw TJ running past the diner. I hadn't had the time to really figure out what he was doing before Duke barged in.
He said someone was after him and that he needed to leave.
He talked to you? Where is he? I feel the fur pricking up all over my body. Thought of TJ might be out there somewhere in this chaos is terrifying. Like him survive that. I'm certainly doing a terrible job.
I don't know. He asked me if I had a car, but I don't, so he kept up on the road.
Bro, there's something past Kudzo's trailer aside from Carl's house, and that's over a mile away. Carl doesn't have a car anymore. Maybe he's just staying with the Ram? I hope that's the case.
After he left, though, is when things really started going crazy.
Dude shakes his head.
You know Dale?
Yeah? That was the only other otter in town now that my family has left.
He was walking up the road with a fucking shotgun, pointing it all around and stuff.
Oh god. Is that out of the ordinary for Dale? I want to get back on the topic of TJ. If he went up the road away from town, we could still find him.
But he was bleeding, had cuts on his leg, and his jeans were all ripped up.
Oh.
He had knocked on my door. I didn't open it, but he yelled through it, saying that there was a meeting in the center of town.
What kind of meeting?
A fucked up one, apparently. Anyway, I went over to Leo's house to see if he was home. Then I saw the window.
Kudzu rubs the back of his neck as he was lowering.
Obviously, I knew some bad shit had happened, but I had no way of knowing what. Anyway, I went to this town center, hoping I'd see you two there, but just getting there was crazy.
Kudzu looks back at me.
Jeremy's house was burning, and Janice's house looked like it had been broken into, too.
Maybe Jeremy was the dude that got chopped up?
Maybe, I don't know.
We don't know.
Jeremy's house? That was Jenna's house?
Didn't run into anyone until I got to the townhouse.
This whole thing is just getting bigger and bigger. Well, I'd been in Brian's trailer. Everything had been falling apart outside, but why? What's going on? Kudzu shakes his head.
I still don't know that, even after they told me.
Ooh.
The older guys, Mark and the mayor, said something about this having happened before, that it was our turn or something.
Oh, fuck. Our turn? What does that mean? Kudzu shakes his head again.
I don't know. They just said it happened to their grandparents and that we had to be ready.
Ready? Did they tell us what to do?
Said to pray.
Oh, God. Is that all they told you?
Basically, acted like there was nothing we could do about it, and
Kudzu pauses. What?
they also said we can't leave and showed us a body.
Kudzu stops talking. I stare. Like a dead body?
Yes, Chase.
This all's a nod. What is going on? And my voice rises in pitch as Kudzu puts up his hands as if trying to quiet me down.
I don't know, but there were weird cuts on the body. They said we can't leave because something out there will stop us if we try to leave town.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez. I stare at Kudzu.
Oh, jeez.
Serial killer or something?
They wouldn't say. They acted like it's a monster.
Oh, God. Well, then they're lying, right? Kudzu's quiet for a moment, then shakes his head.
After everything I've seen, I just don't know.
Well, been trying to figure out what the hell we're going to do. Oh, we need to find Leo at least. Kudzu nods like he already thought about that. Then maybe get my car and at least try to leave. It doesn't say anything to that. I leave for whatever reason, then at least have to find the rest of my friends. I look at Kutsu. I do. I don't know what you're going to be. Kutsu gives me a wry smile.
I don't have anywhere else to go aside from out of here. Besides, I owe it to Leo to get him out.
Feel a warm rush of relief flow over me knowing Kutsu will be with me. I don't think I'd be able to do any of this alone. So we're gonna get Leo? Kutsu nods.
Well, I am at least. You should really stay here. Get some more rest after what you went through.
Of course, I'd rather stay here and hide until Kutsu comes back, but he'll try to save me back at the diner. Risk his life to do it. After everything Leo had done for me, I owe him too. No, I'm going with you. Kutsu shakes his head.
I don't think so. It'll make things easier if it's just me.
The ship's looking toward the kitchen.
Besides, I'll have Leo's gun with me in case something goes wrong.
He was my boyfriend. I can't just sit here while you save him. Kutsu pauses.
Listen, I know Leo and I know he would never want me to bring you into something like this.
Yeah, well, Leo not wanting me to do something never stopped me before. Getting defiant like this is making me feel better. It gives me purpose again. Because it looks like he's about to shake his head again, but I continue. Besides, it might help things. One of us could go in for a while. The other distracts Duke or something. Duke looks unsure, so I press my advantage. It goes wrong. One of us would be there to help the other. Pulls out one of his whiskers.
Maybe if it's just Duke there.
He might not even be there. He might be at Brian's trailer, somewhere else around town. Guzzo sighs and looks at me right in the eyes.
Are you sure you want to do this?
I'm not, but I nod anyway. Oh shit, no, I didn't want to click that.
And the next chapter.
Oh, jeez.
Shit. Okay. I think I should stop now. It's been almost 3.5 hours. I'm so tired and exhausted, my god.
It's a good leaving point. This is like the episode before the grand finale anyway,
Oh
so
my god. And this fever I feel creeping on me isn't helping either.
So we have multiple things we have to do. We need to save Leo, find our friends, and find a way out of the fucking town without dying.
Jesus.
No biggie.
Yeah.
biggie.
Oh boy.
It's a casual, literal Sunday.
Oh god. Oh, that was a lot. That was so much. I feel this. I was given way too many pieces of this puzzle and nothing's connecting. And I feel a hot mess right now. And also in the literal sense, because again, I feel fever-like symptoms on me. Anyway, that's gonna be the end of the stream. I don't know what else I could say right now that I just mentioned right now, or also said while it was happening. So I'm just gonna sign off normally. I'm a variety streamer. I stream all kinds of stuff, and who knows, maybe I'll finish something at some point. That was just so much. All right, I want to thank you two. I do want to thank you two for putting me through this, because oh my god, yeah, no, this is it's intense. Holy shit, I keep you know what's funny is that I don't know I know what to think going into this, and it's not moments where I'm like, oh, I bet I know what's gonna happen next, because one, I'm not familiar with this genre, and two, I just don't fucking know, because so much crazy shit keeps happening, and it's like, god, like I can't even piece anything together to figure out where the plot's going, because everything's going fucking nuts right now. Anyway, thank y'all for joining me. I hope y'all have a good day. I hope y'all get some rest, take your vitamins and whatnot. Just do anything you can to stay healthy, because I feel like I'm getting sick. So I'm gonna stay healthy and stay hydrated. Good night, everybody.